Yeah. Alright, what was the point? I thought we were gonna start the stream, but then I started talking about Limmy. Oops. That's okay. That's alright. Alright, okay, I'm starting the stream like this, apparently.
Alright, pay no attention to the chicken in the corner.
I don't know what you guys are doing.
But, would you like a handcuff biscuit? No? You already ate? Well, more for me, then.
Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney 2. I've been on a little bit of a break. Went on a little family vacation, but I'm back. And, you know, I want to make sure I play the Great Ace Attorney 2 at least once a week. Or else we'll never finish. We'll never finish. So welcome back. Let me see if I remember what happened last time, like a week ago. You guys like this look, huh? Alright. Last time we started looking into more of the circumstances behind Tobias Gregson's death. We haven't really explained anything about it. The Red-Headed League, why he was looking into them, or, you know, if they really had anything to do with his murder, his death. But we got a little bit more info out of Daily Vigil from the circumstances surrounding his firing 10 years ago. Apparently, Asogi's father, the Elder Asogi.
The Elder Asogi.
Oh yes, that's the Elder Scrolls' Sengoku era crossover type of thing. He left some sort of will and testament right before his execution, supposed execution, leaving everything he owns to his son. At the time, it made sense, but now we know it's probably because something of his that got passed down was vital evidence to whatever happened 10 years ago. So, yeah, we need to inquire more about that. We need to talk to Asogi, and then also we found out that Maria Gory from the autopsy report is none other than the daughter of Professor Scythe. Was she a professor? Dr. Scythe? So what's all that about? We gotta go talk to her too. So, sorry, Mr. Kaden, no more biscuits. We gotta go. We gotta go. Let's see if I remember any of these voices. Whew. Fracture Scanlines, welcome on in. Welcome on in, everybody. Yellow Pikachu, hello, hello. Start like this. Sorry, no cows, but I am working on a little something for Halloween. Have I exhausted all of his conversation? I'm sure he's exhausted of me. Haha. I do want to at least present some stuff to him, because you never know when a piece of evidence is going to give us, like, unique dialogue. Nope, just handcuff biscuits. How about this? If anybody happens to know any unique dialogue that comes from presenting evidence, feel free to tell me. I won't count it as backseating because, you know, it's more like little missable things, you know? Yeah. I mean, I'll take more biscuits. What do you think they taste like? I bet they're, like, caramel coated. Ooh, delicious. Alright, sir. Good seeing you again. I was very happy to see him return, because I like this character. I like doing a Scottish accent. But it is time to go. Can we go to the forensics lab? Doesn't look like it. Alright, we'll talk to Asogi first then. At his quote-unquote office, really Van Zeeks' office. Not real Eric, how you doing? Welcome on in. 2nd November, prosecutor's office. So, this is the office of Prosecutor Asogi now, is it? He's moving up in the world. Susanoo, he just kind of inherited it. Kazuma-sama is doing so well for himself. Now he's not relegated to that one cushion, even though he's always forced to kneel on the floor, Japanese style, in that dark corner. It's his habit to sit Seiza style whenever he's working. You'd think I'd know that, being his best friend and all. Still soft-spoken, how you doing? Looking cozy. Kazuma!
I thought it wouldn't be long before you paid me a visit, Ryunosuke.
Whoa! That voice is getting a little deep, Kazuma. You trying to take over for Van Zeeks while he's gone?
No! I just talk like this now.
I was right about what I said, wasn't I? Sorry? That you have all the makings of a great defense lawyer. He was right. Oh, Kazuma, you've come back to us. His prosecutor theme slaps. All of his themes slap, honestly. Like, I love how they have the same leitmotif and everything. Well, I always believed that you'd fulfill your dream of advocating in the British courts. I just never imagined for 1 second that it would be as a prosecutor, and also as a zombie.
I'm not a zombie.
Seeing you stand in a foreign courtroom, so gallantly realizing your dream, Kazuma-sama, says little Miss Gallant and Dashing. Susato, go put on the Ryotaro getup. You can be the new defense lawyer. You want so badly to see Kazuma in court. You can take my place for this next day of trials, honestly. I'm truly happy for you. I shouldn't ruin the moment, though. Like, this is our friend. And I think he's out there for the truth, too, even though he's technically against us in court today.
And I am truly thankful to you, Judicial Assistant Mikotoba.
Phaser, how you doing?
Ryunosuke. I always thought it would be fun for you and I to shake up the British legal system a little together. This isn't quite how I envisaged it, but I suppose it's just another twist of fate.
I've learnt a lot of things during my time in London. About how Susato-san's father was himself a visiting student here once, along with Judge Jigoku. And about what happened with your father. In fact, we're still learning things.
What? Then you'll have no difficulty understanding.
I can't take the biscuits with me from Barry's office. No. I snuck a couple in Susato's robes when nobody was looking. They're just like all stuffed down her sleeve where she keeps all her books. Don't tell anybody. We just grabbed the entire jar and just like poured it down there. Delicious. Just make sure to get all of them when we get back to the Baker Street.
Why I had no choice. Why I had to find a way to get to Britain as a visiting student myself.
I want to hear it from you, Kazuma.
As you wish, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Kazuma. It's getting on for a year now since what happened on the SS Buria. Backstory time. Look at that ship. Look at that ship that I totally looked at and was on during the official localization of the game. We were heading across the oceans from Japan to Great Britain when a bizarre series of coincidences? Hold on. Now, is this one of those things where it's like an old-timey spelling, or is that really a typo? We had this last time. Apparently, just desserts is spelled with one S. Of coincidences led to those tragic events. I thought I'd lost my best friend forever. In a way, is he really back? Back and better than ever. Drooby Dooby, Chris, my man, how you doing, Drew? How's life? You plan on doing some Final Fantasy Tactics today? And we got a shout out for Drooby, by the way. Playing some Ace Attorney. I'm back to it after a week. Trying to remember how to do all these voices. Trying to remember how to stream. But we're having a great time. Looking a little sus.
I must have been unconscious for a long time. When I woke, I was lying on a bed. It was a narrow little room. There was a posy of flowers by the pillow. It took me a little while to realize that I was in the cabin of a ship. I slipped out of the room and headed up onto the deck.
But it wasn't the Buria. He had already been moved to Hong Kong. Were you already suffering from amnesia at that point?
Yes, I didn't know what had happened or where I was. There was just this voice in my head.
Now, correct me if this is not how amnesia works, but isn't it like, if you have retrograde amnesia where you are unable to remember like your past. Like, doesn't that like, if it ever gets knocked back into you somehow, like, let's not even pretend that amnesia in the media is in any way realistic, but doesn't that like undo the memories that you would have made? I guess that's a different type of amnesia. Never mind.
Yes. You have something you have to do. Something no one else can know about. Go to Great Britain. Your task awaits you there.
Why is he writing with Greek and Cyrillic? Oh, is that Cyrillic? Is that how they do it in this game? Yeah, in the fan translation at least, I think it's all Russian. Why is he Russian? Because he's got somewhere to go. He's got to go to Britain. Haha.
It was a calling I couldn't ignore. It compelled me relentlessly. Out on deck, I saw that I was on a huge steamship, and we were docked in a large port.
It must have been Hong Kong. Yes, it must have been. Presumably just before they were due to carry your body off the ship.
I had no idea of the situation, but I did have the feeling that this was in some way my last chance. So I concealed myself among the disembarking passengers and went ashore. Then I disappeared into the crowded streets of that foreign port city, so I could plan my onward journey to Great Britain.
Wow. His great escape, eh? Apparently Hong Kong is surprisingly, like, navigable if you only know English. It very much is, like, an English-speaking place. At least from my experiences in Shenmue 2. So, you know, 1980 Hong Kong, 1880 Hong Kong, how different could they possibly be? As long as they got those gacha machines that cost 5 Hong Kong dollars, you know? Maybe I'll get another. Yeah. Yeah, to answer the question, he doesn't actually know Russian. His quote-unquote death was faked, and the Russian crew members tried to make it look like he knew Russian, like somehow he was a stowaway. I don't remember, it's been a while. It's been like 3 years. But all in all, we figured out he really, first of all, he wasn't really murdered by who we thought murdered him, and also he wasn't even dead.
Just under a year ago, with all my past memories lost to me, I was left behind in Hong Kong. Everything was foreign to me. The sights, the sounds, the smells, the food. It was good though. I had some Peking duck.
I don't even know if they serve Peking duck in Hong Kong. I'm sure they do. Just in the same way they serve it, like, anywhere.
My head reeled. I was truly at a loss.
Peking duck. I know.
I realize now that I'd escaped as a dead man, with nothing but the clothes on my back. No money, of course.
Oh, how terrifying for you. The gacha machines are at Hong Kong $20 now? How much is that in USD these days?
Luckily, though, I had 2 feathers in my cap.
One being your knowledge of English, I suppose. They were colonized by the British for over 100 years. By the 1800s or by now? Because if this game is over 100 years ago, that might actually be a problem.
That's right, and on the back of that, I was able to pick up some work as a deckhand on a cargo ship.
20th century, got it.
Eventually, after calling at countless ports, I finally arrived at Dover.
Did you see the cliffs?
That must have been some 3 months ago now.
Since 1897. Oh, interesting. Well, luckily enough, this game takes place in the early 1900s and or late 1800s, so it all works out. Your formidable tenacity of purpose showing itself again. Just all on instinct. I mean, the man had lost his memory and had literally nothing to his name. But he still managed to make his way to London on the opposite side of the world.
Of course. I had no idea why I'd moved heaven and earth to get here at that point.
He just really wanted to start a small business. Asogi sushi. That's why you have that sword. That's why you have it now, so you can cut up some tuna. Watch out for mercury poisoning, though. I'm sure it wasn't that bad 100 years ago. So, how did you end up becoming Lord Van Zieks' apprentice, then? I'm a little suspicious, because that means Lord Male Strongharp has... He must have known something about Kazuma's nature.
That can only be called an extraordinary stroke of luck, really. You see, I was stopped at the border because I had no papers.
Glory to Aristotska.
They took me straight to Scotland Yard. And by sheer coincidence, Lord Strongheart was there to attend a meeting. That's when the second feather in my cap came to play.
Squeegee's from Hong Kong. Oh, you have your own roast duck tradition. Peking duck is northerner food. Well, either way, if it makes it foreign, could be a delicacy in and of itself. Donkey Kong. Would that have been your knowledge of the law?
Yes, exactly.
Now, take a moment to think that because Kazuma had amnesia, that means his knowledge of the law is so ingrained into his person that he was able to remember it even after forgetting his own identity. His sense of justice is like innate to him. That is admirable.
Lord Strongheart was curious about how an Easterner with intimate knowledge of British law. He took me back with him to the Supreme Court and assigned me to the prosecutor's office.
And then, 9 days ago, you finally got your memory back after the trial involving Dreba. You also had a sweet mask. You ripped it off. You yelled, "Persona!"
That didn't happen.
Oh, must have been mistaken. If Osogi had a persona, what would it be? Eat, breathe, live the law.
Yes, I did.
I was gonna mention something. Oh yeah, Peking duck. As far as why I am playing Yakuza Dead Souls as one of my first games for Halloween this year, because I want an excuse to play more Yakuza, that's really it. From what I can tell, Yakuza Dead Souls is not nearly as long as the other Yakuza games, so it'll be a good kinda in-between game. Because, you know, Judgment's gonna be in the next one I play after that. Because Lost Judgment just came out, and I'm so behind now. I heard it's great. Ever since I first met you at Yume, you talked about your dream.
Mark my words, Ryunosuke. I'll be chosen as a visiting student and make my way to Great Britain someday.
Did you know the entire time about what happened to your father here?
16 years ago.
Oh, look at that little baby Kazuma. I say baby, he's like 10 years old in this picture.
When my father left on that exciting trip to Great Britain, I was just a boy. We took a photograph together the day before his departure. It is my last memory of him. But what I remember most about my father is his unswerving sense of justice.
He's even got a little kendo stick.
6 years after he left, a gentleman called at our family's home.
Non-existent headband wind is genetic. That's too right. We even saw it in some of the flashbacks of Genshin.
He told me that Genshin, my father, had been taken ill in England and passed away. It was Professor Mikotoba, your father, Susato-san.
Oh my!
Ever since then, the professor was very good to me. He even helped to fund my university education at Yume. I'll be forever in his debt.
Yo, why can't Ryunosuke get that Mikotobo grant money? Grant money? Mikotobo student loans.
But nevertheless, I just couldn't bring myself to believe what he told me. The name's Impact. Genshin Impact.
Oh.
That was my father's real name. Then one day, a letter arrived at our house from Britain. There was no indication of the sender, so I opened it assuming it was from an old acquaintance of my father. What I read in that letter changed my entire life.
What did it say?
It said that my father had been a masked murderer, and the writer cursed the Asoki name.
Oh no! Yeah, no, that could mess you up. Definitely. For your life.
As a result of that letter, I found out what had been hidden from me all those years.
Who sent the letter?
Zeke's? Presumably, the letter was sent from a relative of one of the victims.
A relative of one of the victims. Like Clint Van Zeeks was a victim? You don't think?
If whoever it was had been a member of the judiciary, he could have been present at the closed trial. The letter revealed that my father had been sentenced to death, executed for being a killer.
Imagine being a 14-year-old getting a letter in English saying your father was a mass murderer. You could hardly believe it, but because it came from England, I don't think there was any room for doubt. Did the letter... I wonder if the letter talked about the closed trial. Because if it had insider information like that, there had to be some sort of corroborating proof, you know? Like, maybe a newspaper clipping showing like, oh yeah, the professor murdered... Oh, no. It's not just professor. It was your dad, Kazuma. I'm so sorry you had to find out that way.
I imagine the British government did its very best to silence whoever had sent that letter. But someone who knew the truth and couldn't bear the resentment was always going to be a problem.
But still, it could have been written by anyone. Why would you believe such a thing?
Well, here we go.
There was a
Okay, called it.
There was a newspaper cutting included with the letter. It was the first I'd ever heard of the professor and his terrible killing spree.
Well, what did my father have to say about the letter?
I just wonder how much Mikotoba Sr. knew about Genshin's killings. Like, was he accomplice to it? Did he know about it and turn a blind eye? Or did Genshin operate completely under the covers of darkness, even from his own friends?
I couldn't bring myself to show it to him.
What? Why not?
Because he deliberately concealed the truth from me by telling me my father was taken by a fatal illness. That couldn't have been easy for him, and he'd done it out of consideration for my feelings.
Trying to protect baby Kazuma. He was such a pure lad. But no, the truth had to reveal itself. The ugly, ugly truth. Ruining his innocence, his childhood.
So, instead, I showed the letter to Judge Jigoku.
To the other visiting student.
He faltered for the briefest of moments, but then he just laughed the letter off. But in that moment, I saw it on his face. He was undeniably shocked, shaken momentarily before recovering his poise. Pause. A year later, my bereaved mother succumbed to the strain of grief, and she too passed away. That's when I made up my mind that one day, without fail, I would cross the seas to Britain and seek the truth for myself. The truth about my father, Genshin Asugi. And I wouldn't let anyone stand in my way.
Oh, Kazuma-sama.
A man with purpose. I feel absolutely terrible for this man. Besides the fact that we thought he was dead for an entire year, just the amount of stuff he had been going through, even at the time we knew him in the Great Ace Attorney 1. He knew all of this and was keeping it up inside. Jigoku too. But that can't have been easy for Kazuma. Like, I bet the reason he was so stoked to have me come aboard was because he wanted to let me help him verify the truth. Because he trusted me as his friend. Ah! And yet it came to this. Nobody could have ever seen it coming.
What we learned today in court turned things completely on their head.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. The fact that Kazuma was willing to throw that all away if in any way Ryunosuke was guilty during that first case. We knew the stakes were high, but this high? Nah, it's not that the stakes were so high that it's because Kazuma had so much belief in his friend that it didn't matter how high the stakes were. He knew his friend was innocent. Why is this game retroactively so emotional? Kazuma! Okay, now I understand why all the, whenever I went to, conventions, whenever I went to conventions, anime conventions, I'd always see, the fan art and Artist Alley stuff depicting Kazuma. Yeah, he was a cool character in, 1.5 cases of Greatest Attorney 1. No. Oh, no. Oh, no, he's definitely got more of a purpose. Also, I'm stalling because my desk is falling apart, and I just really quickly need to fix it. Hold on. Give me a second. Cool. I really need to replace this IKEA thing. I've had it for, 10 years now. Alright.
It was an impressive piece of lawyering. Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper, you know. I almost don't want to believe it myself, but it turns out that Inspector Gregson himself, the victim, was...
It's clear that the inspector was behind the Reaper's activity all along.
Oh, yes, of course. I knew that. Didn't just find that out today. Ah! Oh, you mean you knew?
You knew? Metal Gear. The real question is, who's been giving orders to the inspector?
That's right. The Reaper is an organization, not just one person. Of which Giselle Brett was one.
Yeah, yes. Baron Van Zeeks is the real Reaper.
What? No. No!
And I know that 10 years ago, it was him who decided my father must be a mass murderer and sent him to his grave.
No! He was merely seeing that justice was done as the law dictates. He's not to blame.
Ultimately, it's people who condemn people. The law is just a tool that they use to do it.
He's right, you know.
And when a man condemns another, he must take responsibility for his actions. Of course he must. But I know for certain that my father would never have taken another man's life.
But then that begs the question, who's the real professor?
Kazuma. On the contrary, my father's life was taken by the Reaper.
Hey? You can't just stop there. Kazuma? I bet I gotta show him something. You can't just stop there. What do you mean the Reaper? Hold on. Reaper? Kazuma, what do you make of this?
There's only one place where defense lawyers and prosecutors should discuss evidence. The courtroom.
What? Which of these will make him talk? Look, I took a picture with Mikotoba. We're buddy-buddy now. I bet I can tell him that you know about Genshin's true nature. Or false nature, false true nature. Oh, wait. Oh, maybe he can give us more information about the forensics lab. I mean, we know where it is. But if we let him... Oh, here we go. Yeah, if we let him know that we know about Maria Gory's relation to Dr. Sight, this might clear up some stuff. This came up in the trial, didn't it? As something a little dubious, I mean. The fact that no time of death was recorded on Inspector Gregson's autopsy report? Show him the armband. Ooh, you're right. Why have I not done that? That's like the first thing I need to do. In every... I feel like I've gotten so used to everybody I presented to already having seen it. I forgot to give it to Kazuma. It's his armband.
Yes, there were some unexpected turns in the courtroom earlier. The suggestion you came up with certainly took everyone by surprise. The idea that the victim died the previous day at some other location is quite something.
Well, considering when the pocket watch had stopped and the scorch marks on the candle, it's certainly a distinct possibility. The evidence and the scene both point to it.
To be honest, it bothered me too. So I paid a visit to the autopsy room earlier. The coroner responsible wasn't there, but I got a name. It's Dr. Gory.
Category.
If it wouldn't trouble you, Kazuma-sama, we'd very much like to speak with the coroner too.
Of course. The last thing I want is for anything to be brushed under the carpet. It might grow mold, and we don't want that. It'll get all stinky. Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory is behind Lowgate Cemetery.
We know that already. We've been there.
Lowgate Cemetery?
By Barclay Prison, you mean?
Ah, you know it, do you? The prison where my father was incarcerated and robbed of his life.
Kazuma-sama.
Well, thank you. We'll pay a visit to the laboratory later today. Oh, wait, no! I can't show the armband. Okay, now I can. Whew!
Ryunosuke, I want to thank you.
What for?
For this.
Oh, there's the song! I'm silently cat jamming, with tears in my eyes.
You safeguarded the soul of the Asugi clan.
Well, it is a famous soul that's been in your family for generations. My only slight regret is that I never got the chance to draw it before I returned it to you. Didn't want to cut some melons up?
Kazuma is said to have been forged by a master swordsmith during the Sengoku Warring States period. I come from a long lineage of warriors, many of whom were expert swordsmen.
Well then, you're a chip off the old block, I'd say.
This blade, Kazuma, is the symbol of the Asugi clan's honor and might. Apparently, one of my father's apprentices even took the blade's name for a surname.
Oh! There's the connection. So somebody studied under Genshin Asogi, ended up moving to America/Germany, and that's how we got the Karma clan. The Von Karmas. There it is. There's the payoff. Wow, they're named after a sword. Cool. Really? Karma? It does sound formidable, that's for sure. Yeah, too bad that the only weapon they wield 100 years later are whips and tasers.
16 years ago, when my father was a visiting student here in London, he had this sword forever at his side. Which is why it means so much to me that I have it by my side again now too. And that is all thanks to you.
It was an honor. It really was.
Now, I have preparations to make for tomorrow.
Oh, I guess you're not looking at your armband. I'm sure I presented it to him, like, before.
Perhaps I said a little too much.
Kazuma, you've changed.
No, Ryunosuke. I haven't changed at all. It's you who's changed.
I can completely understand your resentment of Lord Van Zeek's given what happened. But the fact is, those events in this case are, well...
Unrelated? Is that what you want to say? How can you be so sure?
What do you mean?
Never mind. That man is the Reaper, and it's for that reason that the inspector was killed. I'm going to prove as much in court tomorrow, by whatever means necessary. I can't let you do that, Kazuma. I know you'll do what you have to do as a lawyer, but I'm sure I don't need to tell you that I won't be taking any prisoners in the courtroom.
I would expect nothing less. Oh, look at these two nerds! This is like straight up Phoenix Wright Miles Edgeworth energy right here, right now. They both have their own virtuous reasons to prove their points. All that's left is to find the truth.
Until tomorrow, then, in the Old Bailey.
Phoenix Edgeworth speed run. How much time until the main defense attorney ends up creating friendship with the prosecutor? I mean, this one kind of already happened, but now it is true. And this armband is proof.
Kazuma, this is your armband. Actually, I think it's yours now.
No, really, it has your name on it.
Actually, that's your name now. You are now Kazuma Asugi.
Whoa! Sorry?
You're the defense lawyer. You have a talent for it. I've always known that you would. And now you've chosen to take that path in life. As your friend, I couldn't be happier for you. Or more proud. Kazuma. So you keep hold of that. Besides, I'm a prosecutor now. That armband would have no meaning for me.
Well, if you're sure, thank you, my friend. Tomodachi.
Well,
All right, sir. Kazuma, I'll see you in court. Let our search for the truth commence, and let the games be afoot. I'm moving. I'm out of here before I start crying. Oh, I see Maria's been a bit busy decorating. Look at all these. They look like Deltarune characters. No, really. Check it out. There's Sham, and there's Nafstablook, and there's Susie, and there's Jeffel. And look, it's Sans. He's right here. Don't you see? Don't you recognize him? He's your old pal. Second November, Forensics Laboratory.
This place really is creepy, isn't it?
What? I'm a big shot. And you can't forget your old pal, Spamton, G. Spamton.
well,
Oh, I forgot Iris was here this whole time.
being a dead room, it's probably full of the spirits of the dissected.
But actually, there's a rather pleasing scent of roses in the air. Probably to mask all the freaking death.
Well, being a dead room, the coroner probably needs a bold scent like that to mask the odor of death.
That's what I'm thinking. Iris and I share a brain cell. That's a problem because, like, that brain cell is over 100 years old by now. Iris, do you think we could change the subject? Definitely moved in, I see.
Knife! She's got knives!
What was that? Lilu Payne, how you doing? Welcome to Maria Gory. The, cutest coroner this side of the River Thames. Dr. Gory? Could you just take off that mask? That noise before. Oh, you know, just sharpening the butcher's knife. We're having steak tonight. It was a mistake coming here. Ah! Origination. Now, origination. Don't you dare draw this girl as your new art project for Fridays. Reverse psychology. How you doing, Ori? I see you've been drawing for October daily drawings. They are freaking wonderful. May I put one of them up later at the art segment? Just wondering. No, not Ryunosuke. I am Ryunosuke.
That noise before.
I was sharpening my tools. I'd be dead meat if I didn't keep a perfectly clean edge on them.
Right.
When following the collagen fibers in the dermis, an expertly sharp scalpel cuts like cheese. Would you like a demonstration? Oh, yes, please. I'd love to see. Then, I think you'll do nicely.
No! 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 I don't want to be fried chicken! Huh? No! I wouldn't do nicely at all! I mean, maybe some other time? No time! Maybe after I'm dead. Was that a tut? Well, we came here to ask questions, so...
Look at she. If anything, I think you're ruining your blades. Ma'am? Miss? Ma'am? Ma'am, miss, ma'am? Now, should I talk to her first, or should I present to her the frickin' autopsy report? Okay, I think I know what I want to do. About this photograph, Dr. Gory. Is she a doctor? How old is she? Can I check that? Beep, beep. Look at all the people. That's how you know this is a late game case. Oh, look, spoilers for what she looks like. Goth. You know, she actually rocking that look, though? The daughter of Dr. Scythe, who's also a coroner like her mother, she carries out all the autopsy work on corpses.
Who's that?
Sorry? It's Inspector Gregson, of course, the victim of this case. You did an autopsy on him? Hey, now wait a minute.
Oh, I see. I don't remember the faces.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I should show you his pancreas. Maybe you'll recognize him from that.
Internal organs, muscle tissue, bullet trauma. Those are the things I remember.
Well, please, try to also remember that I don't want to know anything about all of that. Let's actually exhaust your dialogue first. So, what's with the time of death? Why is there none? How do you not know? We actually have met before. I'm a lawyer, if you remember. More like dead meat.
You're not dead yet.
What? Creepy? Oh, this is straight out of Doctor Who. I like how her gas mask is also like a plague doctor mask with a little beak. That's what they used to have to like... Back before people knew that sickness was caused by like bacteria and viruses, they thought it was like just the bad smells. So they would just put like roses and flowers in the front of their mask to hopefully protect against that kind of stuff. And you know, the coincidental thing is it kind of worked just by virtue of wearing a mask. How about that? Miasma. Not feeling too well, Doc. Oh yeah, well, Sailor Anna. Well, this doctor's got what you need. Knives! And also just rocking that makeup. How you doing? Welcome on in. Hope you're doing okay.
Mama said I wasn't to cut you open. She's so strict about things like that.
Well, good. But she's not here to stop her. Dr. Scythe has some scruples at least. Now you're really not feeling well. Oh my.
Oh dear, it looks like she's not interested in talking to us. For the time being, anyway.
For the time being? You mean until we die? I hope that's a way off. Woo! Please don't die yet, Ryunosuke. You're gonna cause a time paradox. You haven't fathered the great-great-grandfather of Phoenix Wright yet. What? Why are you looking at me like that? What am I to you, chopped chicken? Pico de gallo? Sorry, but I wasn't planning on dying anytime soon. Surely there's some less drastic way of making it listen. What if we, like, presented you with an offering? Like, I'll give you, like, a sacrificial lamb to dissect. How about that? Or how about I talk to you about this autopsy report? I keep getting confused because it usually is in an envelope with these games, and now it's just on a clipboard. Dr. Gory, we actually came here to ask you about this.
Are you my mummy?
No, I'm not your mummy. Your mummy's in jail.
He was very good.
Ah? Good? Sorry?
His skin didn't snag my blade once, and very little mess. His joints dislocated easily, and his muscle tissue was a pleasure to work with.
We can skip those details! But there is one thing about the report that's caught my attention. You don't seem to have recorded a time of death. Oh, hello. Hello, lady. How you doing? That's not my fault! Oh, that made me jump. Then please, tell us what happened. Tell us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Collapses on the prosecution desk. Worst company, no. Get up, she might dissect you. Unless that's what you want, I mean. Squeegee Bump thought clipboards were invented in World War II. Well, it's got like something. Oh, you can see it right there. It's got like a little piece of wood like tied to it. Oh, in a way it's kind of like a binding and you can flip the pages up. That's actually pretty nice. I wonder why they don't do that anymore. I would love to see a piece, like a document bound like that. Bean 500, welcome on in. How you doing? So why doesn't this autopsy report include the victim's time of death then? It's really the most crucial detail. Gonna rest, changing weather. Changing weather. Oh, it is still summertime degrees for me over here. Man, I was just in San Francisco. I came back to summer in LA again. In fact, it's a little bit hot. I went to the grocery store today. I walked out and it was still blazing hot. Like, it's like summer never left. At this rate, it'll be winter and I'm still gonna be sweating my ass off. Ah, jeez.
I was told not to write it.
Told by who? What? By whom? Adding pages might be a pain, but it's so fancy though.
Mayor Strongheart, the Lord Chief Justice. He came here.
I knew it! Strongheart's got something up his sleeve. He's suppressing evidence. Why? Lord Strongheart came. Play Duster Mask, yes. Also, potentially a reference to Doctor Who, maybe? Yeah. Been rough. I'm sorry to hear that, Bean. Well, I hope the stream can make you feel a little bit better. We're pretty late into the Great Ace Attorney too, but you know, if you don't mind spoilers, then chill on out.
He said that from the witnesses' statements about the gunshot and the other evidence, it was obvious.
You mean it was obvious? This is the evidence. It has to be written down so that it's irrefutable. There's no obvious.
The man clearly died at 5 p.m. on 1st November when the gunshot was heard.
But that's not the time of death you wrote on the report. You didn't write anything. Was there some reason you didn't include it? Dr. Gory, if you're hiding something under Lord Strongheart's instructions, then sooner or later you are going to have to go the same way as your mother. Is that a threat?
Give it here then.
Wait, huh? What's she scribbling so furiously? Just writing a time of death right there. There, it's official evidence now. Put it in the book, show it to the judge.
There.
You've written. What you written? Tell us. Indeterminate. That doesn't help us at all. But I mean, at this point, is this even a legal piece of evidence anymore? Because like the autopsy report was updated. Wait a minute. Now I have an updated autopsy report. But that doesn't make sense because the body is no longer able to be autopsized. You can't really tell the time of death now, huh? It's been a little too late. Aha! This whole time I've been saying that it feels like Kazuma was the defense side and we are the prosecution actually pushing the case forward. And we just proved it right here, right now. We have the updated autopsy report, baby! Indeterminate. What do you mean by that? Why was the time of death indeterminate?
When the specimen was brought in, it was still fresh. So the time of death could easily have coincided with when the gunshot was heard.
What if he was refrigerated, though?
But there was one small discrepancy.
What discrepancy?
Metal Gear, questions.
There was some fried fish in the pocket of the specimen's overcoat.
Oh! His love of fish and chips. His love of fish and chips will set him free. By the way, I ate tons of fish and chips over my vacation as well.
And that fish had started to rot.
What?
If the victim liked fresh fish, he presumably liked to eat it before it went off.
Yes, what are you really trying to say? The body had to have been prepared.
It's possible that someone tried to manipulate the apparent time of death.
Manipulate? Is that even possible to do? Here we go. I already heard about all this from danging Rompa. Time of death is estimated by body temperature, rigor mortis, all that stuff. If you can find a way to, like, refrigerate the body, heat it up, that alone can throw off estimates by so much.
Theoretically, if you want to chill the body in ice, you could delay the onset of putrefaction. And if the overcoat wasn't on the body at the time...
Yo, you stuck naked Gregson in the fridge. Just that image, whoever this true murderer is. I don't want to see fan art of that. Then only the fish would have started to rot.
With today's science, it is not yet possible to determine if the body was chilled or not.
I like how they had to keep, like, reiterating that to remind everybody that, hey, that science probably does exist in the year 2000 something, but this is the year 1890 something, so too bad. But today's science is advanced enough to let you freeze a corpse, it seems. But surely, to chill a corpse like that would require an enormous electrical refrigerator. And I don't imagine many households in London are equipped with such a device. It's November, right? It might be chilly enough outside.
No, definitely not. But maybe in a factory, or some other special places.
I don't recall seeing any factories or such like on Fresno Street, though. Oh, you know, just put his body in William Shakespeare's apartment with the gas off. Easy. I wonder if the inspector's body had been chilled somehow. What might the actual time of death have been?
I couldn't say for sure. But at the most, it might have been a day earlier.
No. Maybe a basement? Could be a basement.
In other words, it would corroborate your previous deduction, Mr. Naruhodo. That Inspector Gregson was killed a day before his body was discovered, at a different location.
And the fact being that male Strongheart tried to hide it. So either he was the one who manipulated the body himself, or he was given orders. Did you inform Lord Strongheart of this possibility?
He simply said that there was no electrical refrigerator of that size in the vicinity.
Taking him at his word, eh? Well, if that's true, how do they store all of the fried fish before frying that Gregson eats? With how many he goes through? He could have been stuffed in the freezer that has all the fish. Oh yes, one other thing. It's something the governor of Barclay Prison told us. Here, have a handcuff biscuit. We smuggled some.
No, thank you. I already brushed my teeth today.
Okay. He said that your mother, Dr. Scythe, was responsible for confirming the death of the professor after his execution.
The professor?
Apparently, you always enjoyed listening to your mother's stories about her work, so... She doesn't look happy about it. We were wondering if you might know something about what happened 10 years ago. Yeah, when she was 9 years old, apparently.
that's not all Mama did.
Why is that so ominous? I don't like the sound of that. Sorry.
My Mama carried out the autopsy of Clint Van Zieks as well.
Her eyes are sparkling. Anime ooh. I'm pretty sure this is the most emotion we'll ever see her emote. And the characters in Ace Attorney are always such cards.
Mama.
No mama. Really? The brother of Lord Van Zieks, the professor's final victim.
The idea of carrying out an autopsy on a member of the aristocracy was completely unthinkable back then. But the detective in charge of the investigation insisted, and it was miraculously authorized.
I am really messed up by the fact that those knives don't have any sort of sound effect. That detective being Inspector Gregson, of course. Quite an accomplishment for one man.
That autopsy provided the vital clue needed to arrest the killer. And Mama was there for that historic event.
What does this all mean?
You know that amazing autopsy happened right here in this very room. The professor and Clint Van Zieks. They both spent their final moments before their burial on the dissection table there. So this lab, Mama's lab, was instrumental in some of the country's most important events.
She really is proud of her brother. You know what? Good for her. Good for her. It's a little morbid, but you know, she was goth before it was cool. Before freaking gothic horror even existed. Actually, I don't even know. When did H.P. Lovecraft write his novels? 1917 to 1937. So it's possible that sometime within Ryunosuke's life, he could end up reading H.P. Lovecraft. But not now. Not at this point. It's too early. Cthulhu does not yet exist. Well, he does. He's just dormant at the bottom of the ocean. I wonder if you tell us more about exactly what happened back then, Dr. Gory. You know what? While I'm here, I need to examine the change in scenery. It's a little different from the last time we were here, huh? A table and a set of sharp tools. A set of sharp tools. When you consider each in isolation, it all looks quite innocent. Just channeling Sean Connery a little bit. Channeling him. So why is it that when you put them side by side, they seem so horribly disturbing? Yo, we're ready for Halloween in here. Take some design notes. I like the lamp. It's very jellyfish-like. It might have been best not to ponder it too deeply.
That's Mama's dissection table. It's too high for me, though.
You're 19. Shouldn't you be fully grown? It is?
If I fell from that height in my sleep, it would really hurt.
You're not supposed to sleep on the table. Well, you mean you sleep in here?
Autopsy work is very involved. It's usually too late to think about going home when I'm finished. But I have bad dreams when I sleep here, and I always end up falling onto the floor.
At least get a proper bed.
So I'd like to exchange that table for a lower one.
Maybe you should just go home? Or that. That's not what I expected at all. I like the idea though. Hey, you know what? Sometimes when it's really hot during the summer months, I wish I could sleep on just a cold, hard slab of metal. Just like this. Maybe not as bloody, but just a slab. Just convect all of that heat away from my body, please. Because my bed is comfy and all. But even without a blanket, sometimes it just insulates me. I'm like an egg in an incubator. I've already hatched, please. I do not need to hatch again. Look at all the bottles on the shelves in these cabinets. What an assortment of chemicals. Egg.
These ones here are labeled highly toxic.
Oh, that's worrying. Because there are also things that look like salt and... Wait, we already read this. They should have ones that are labeled only slightly toxic. I wanted to examine the doll, but okay. Back in your island, you laid on the cool tiled floor sometimes to cool off. When the small went up, you moved. Aw. That's what I used to do as a kid sometimes. You know, when the kitchen floor was clean. Just because, like, it's just so nice. We have a hardwood floor in this apartment, so it's like, I would like to do that. I just need to clean the floor more. This looks different to before.
Of course, Mr. Naruhodo. Miss Gory is a young maiden. She has all sorts of charming little dolls and the like around her place of work. Look.
Oh yes, you're right. Perhaps she's not so strange after all. She's never been strange. What do you mean?
They're how I practice.
Okay, that's a little strange. Okay, never mind. Okay, freaking Sid from Toy Story up in here. You think she, like, Frankensteins them together? That'd be really cool. I'd love to see that. Maybe that's what happened to Jevil over here. Chaos. Miss Wineroad, thank you for the resub. Welcome back to the chicken coop. Grab a nest and get comfy. How are you this fine night? Glad to see you. Glad to see you as well. We're talking to little Miss Maria Gory, and ain't she just your next Halloween cosplay? Look at she. Honestly, Capcom needs to just offer more merch of Ace Attorney stuff. Like, I was trying to look for anything, and actually, no, wait. You know, my prayers have been answered. They haven't released any great Ace Attorney stuff, sadly. No Maria Gory plush anytime soon. But just today, they actually announced new Nendroids for Phoenix Wright and Miles Edgeworth. Was that announced today? I feel like it was announced a while ago, but just today they put up like actual pictures of the prototype designs. Here's Phoenix with his spiky hair, and Nendroids with fancy hair are some of the most exciting ones because they... Wait, here's the Edgeworth one as well. Oh, it's a webp, I can't show that. Trying to find the Edgeworth Nendoroid. There's the webp again. Well, there's an Edgeworth one. Trust me, it exists. But yeah, fancy Nendroid hair is super exciting to me every time because it means that I get to put Phoenix Wright's hair on, like, Isabelle Animal Crossing. Or on, like, Saitama One Punch Man. You know? Finally, the heroic hair he deserves. Hero! You know I'm gonna buy those day one. Oh, I should check if they have, like, accessories from the Good Smile store. When you pre-order directly from them, they usually come with, like, an extra little bit or bauble. Like, if I bought my friend a Amaterasu from Okami, and it came with a little, like, spirit orb. I bet Phoenix Wright will come with, like, a little attorney's badge, maybe? A detachable one? Or, like, alternative ejections, like, in Japanese. Igiari! But anyway, sorry? Winered's been watching my playthrough Age of Calamity. Yeah! I'll pick it back up when that DLC drops, but I enjoyed playing it. Definitely did. I need to work on doing more of the side stuff, though. Because I think there's some major thing that I still didn't unlock, but I need to do all of the other missions to unlock it. So, you know, kinda didn't do that on stream yet. You playing it? How you enjoying it?
Mama always says that operations and dissections require speed and accuracy. So I take out my needle and thread and stitch 3 new dolls every day.
Oh, you make them? Oh, right.
I used to make livers or kidneys or intestines.
Oh, you know how, like, Build-A-Bear lets you put a little heart in them?
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. But Mama told me to make something more friendly instead.
I'm not sure about how your eyes kind of rolled back into your head there.
That's quite different to what I'd imagined.
So what, these dolls are all stuffed full of organs?
Yes. You see that one on the left? It's got 5 kidneys.
Wow. I guess that one will be the kidney donor, if any of the other ones need a transplant. looks like an owl and crow up there. I know, and they haven't even twitched since we came up in here. Well, no, they wouldn't have. They're taxidermy mounts, Mr. Naruhodo. I was afraid you were going to say that. I've been trying very hard to tell me they're just sleeping with their eyes open. For a second, I thought the skeleton man was holding, like, something in its hands now. Look at this, what a magnificent display case! The cherry wood has been polished. Okay, I think this is the same. Oh. No, this is different. The cherry wood has been polished to a high sheen, and the intricate carving is a joy to behold. Western cabinet makers really are very skilled, aren't they? It's 10 people. Pardon? It's made from the bones of 10 different people, all mixed together. How do you know? Also, I was trying to avoid the subject of the skeleton. Some of my best work. I'm out. I'ma just head on out before I add to the 11th skeleton. You don't want any chicken bones contaminating that human skeleton? I was admiring the case, actually. The scary skeleton inside is something I intend to ignore as best I can. You're strange. I wonder who is the strangest? Just like that, I bet people are starting to ship it. Those large jars seem to have pale things floating around inside them. I suppose they're fruit liquors or something. Yes, let's assume there's something completely innocent like that. That jar you're looking up there contains monkey brains. No! Oh my! The composition is similar to the human brain, so they make for interesting study material. And in the next jar alone, we have monkey. No more monkey anythings, please. If you say so. Oh dear. The time when I still thought it was just some pickled umeboshi plums seems so long ago already. Definitely don't eat them. Monkey cannot say on T-rated game. I believe this game is rated T. Whereas, Ace Attorney Dual Destinies is rated M. I think that's it for stuff in the room. I didn't expect to find anything, just, I've learned my lesson from Barry Caden. Oh, the knives startled me again. They really need to have some sort of sound effect. The professor's execution was Mama's first big case. She had to be in attendance at Barclay Prison's execution chamber and sign the certificate to confirm the convict's death. Mama is the best coroner in the world, you know. I was so proud of her. But the execution didn't actually take place. No, and worse still, Mama actually helped with the jailbreak. I didn't want to know. Oh dear. How many times has Suzato said oh dear in this room alone? You found out recently, you mean? I believed in her, in Mama, but now I wonder if I'm starting down the same path as her. You mean because you admitted the time of death on this autopsy report? But that's because Lord Strongheart forbade you from including it. Just like Mama, I'm sure she was coerced by somebody too. That's how these operations work. Somebody gets coerced down the line, orders taking orders, orders giving orders. So that it's so hard to trace back to the original mastermind behind it all. Even if we end up like 10 years later finding out the truth about one person's actions, it doesn't immediately lead back to the first like perpetrator. But we're unraveling that thread. We're unraveling that weave one thread at a time. We just gotta tug on it a little bit more. Maria, you can help us unravel the thread. Heck, you got knives, just cut the cloth wide open. Yes, that's my feeling as well. There's no doubt that there were powerful forces at play 10 years ago. The execution couldn't have been staged without a lot of people at the prison knowing about it. Obviously, the prison governor must have been in on it as well. Barry?
The big man with the little handcuffs, according to what he told us. He was tricked by the chief warder. He says he knew nothing about it.
Was that a lie?
Of course he said that. I'd say the same thing.
Just who was behind that jailbreak all those years ago?
Curious and curiouser. You're loving Zelda's character development, Age of Calamity. Relate to her struggle with her father so much. Still getting used to each character plays, but it's been fun. That's what I like the most about it, really. That even if it doesn't 100% follow the past of Breath of the Wild, like, it's still the Zelda that made the trek, tried to unlock the powers of the goddess. And we were constantly told how much pressure she was under to do so. But this time we see it firsthand. Like, Age of Calamity handled that perfectly, honestly. Anyway, Ace Attorney and Halloween Spirit. Oh yes! Now with Dr. Scythe gone, we've actually converted the autopsy room into a Spirit Halloween. Look over there, there's the $1 masks, there's the wigs. Here, there's a Freddie Mercury costume. It's literally just an undershirt and a pair of jeans. Provide your own mustache and sunglasses. You mentioned the autopsy of Clint Van Zieks.
It was at a time when carrying out autopsies of murder victims was very unusual.
It's still not a practice that's observed in our country, even now.
It turned out that he was the professor's final victim, and when the autopsy was performed, Mama was present, although only as the secondary assistant. The person leading the procedure was called Dr. John H. Wilson.
Dr. Wilson Watson!
That's right, my daddy!
Well, finally we've gotten confirmation. I don't know why it took that long.
And there was one other person present, the primary assistant. He was a visiting student from the Far East.
Wait. A visiting student?
It must have been my father, Eugene Mikotoba.
I had no idea Professor Mikotoba had been involved in something so important.
But the outcome of that historic autopsy was the discovery of a vital piece of evidence that led to the capture of the professor.
Oh, she smiled. It's adorable. But also, I'm scared.
So that's how they came to identify Genshin Asogi as the infamous mass murderer.
You happen to know anything about that piece of evidence?
Can you tell us any more? Hey.
Would you like to see the records for yourself?
Yes? Would that be alright?
What's the point of keeping records if people can't look at them?
You know, that's a question I'd be asking Male Strongheart.
They're filed under V at the back of those cupboards, with the other records from the last decade.
Van Zieks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Van Zieks.
That's strange. It's gone?
Hi, Mr. Naruhodo.
They aren't here.
There's nothing on the Van Zieks.
Did he have a different name?
There must be.
Perhaps somebody took them away. Oh no. Just like when Von Karma was trying to hide the evidence from DL6. Except he was not here to tase me.
No one's allowed to take documents related to the professor case out of this room.
DL6, SL9, I forgot already.
But you're right, they're gone.
Well, when was the last time somebody looked at them? Do you remember? Don't say Strongheart. Don't say Strongheart.
Oh, yes. It was... I remember now. It was 2 years ago.
You didn't check it got put back at the time?
A consulting detective came by one day saying he'd like to see the records.
No. You don't mean... Gregson.
What? No. Herlock Sholmes. What? Herlock Sholmes. What? Herlock. What? Herlock. What? Herlock. What? Sholmes. What?
Herlock Sholmes was his name.
Nani?
Deep down, I knew that was coming. Totally.
Do you think he stole the records?
What do you mean? And how does this tie to that dog collar with a B?
Oh no, surely not. Iris, that can't be right, can it?
I said not Strongheart. I got my wish. Never said not Sholmes.
Iris? Iris?
Oh.
Well, I hope you don't mind, but
What is it, Iris?
I just remembered something very important I have to do.
No, you're not weaseling your way out of this.
I'm going to leave you now.
Oh, this is very sudden, Iris. 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 What am I fighting for? Miss, put the knives down. You're making me nervous. It's fine as long as you're not a chicken. You won't be cut up and made into KFC like me.
Well, we'll come with you then. Oh, no, there's no need. You and Reno can take your time here. Bye for now then. Good luck.
Come back here. Don't you dare pull the Joestar secret technique on me.
Run away! Wait a minute, little girl. Huh? Me? I remember now. You've been here before, haven't you?
Have you, Iris?
Yes. 2 years ago, when that detective came. You were with him, weren't you? You were a living specimen then, too.
Living specimen? That's the way it usually works, yes?
Was I? I really don't remember. Anyway, sorry, but I must dash.
Wait, Iris!
I'll roll up a pot for you when you get home.
What's the matter with her? She's behaving really strangely all of a sudden. Iris. Oh. Not the only Iris in Ace Attorney that's keeping secrets. Ah. I find it funny that there's two Irises in Ace Attorney lore. There's the Iris from this game, and there's the Iris from Trials and Tribulations. Completely different, and not named Iris in the original Japanese. Well, in that case, we won't keep you any longer either.
It's been quite a while since I had any visitors. This was really fun. But next time you come, I'd prefer it if you are ready for dissection.
She's strange. I like her. Halloween all year round. I can't make any promises, sorry. Ace Attorney Case 4, also known as Can't Trust Anybody, I guess. Not even the quirky detective. At least Dick Gumshoe would never hide anything from us. It's a bit strange that records of Clint Van Zeeks' autopsy had disappeared, but I think we've asked all we came to ask now. Oh, she's sitting. Let's have a closer look at this. Hey. Then again, it's not, at least not while she's armed. Cool lady. Capcom. You know, she would not actually feel too out of place in a Devil May Cry game. If you really think about it. Capcom, you know, I want to know who did the character design for this game specifically. I wonder how many other Capcom games they share. Like maybe they did some Resident Evil games, some Devil May Cry. Who knows, maybe Okami. I guess need to go talk to Sholmes at this point. Because who else would I talk to? Come to Sweet? Sholmes, you home? No. Iris isn't even here. Huh. Let's see. Alright. I'm gonna see what Susato says about each location. Maybe she has a hint of where to go next. Asks if he wants to borrow books. Grand Place. Father seems to enjoy relaxing. Decorations here. Terrifying each other. This place seems to rather suit Lord Van's. Oh, did I say that out loud? Yes, you did, Susato. Yes, you did. Looking a little sus, Ato. Do you know, I don't believe we visited this place for some time. That sounds like it could be it. Fresno Street room. Oh, scene of the murder. Quote-unquote murder. Maybe. Feel a strange connection. Prosecutor. Cooler down here. Alright, we're going Fresno Street, looks like. Let's see. Alright. Yo, the Bobbies all up in here. Gosh, dang it, Bobbies. 2nd November, room on Fresno Street. Owned by Mr. Vigil himself. The police are still busily investigating in here then. Why is there like a lunchbox? Yo, did somebody leave their bento? Fish and chips?
But Gina's nowhere to be seen. Where is she?
Yes, it has been blissfully quiet, hasn't it? Blissfully? No, I'm not gonna accept any of this slander from you, Ryunosuke. Gina is a good girl. She is a detective now, inspector. Give her credit where credit is due. Perhaps she's out investigating on her own, practicing with what her boss taught her.
Well, I expect she'll be back before long. Shall we wait?
Bum, bum, ba-da, bum, bum, bum. Actually, man, I'm gonna miss this investigation theme when this game is over. It's now one of my favorites in the entire Ace Attorney series. This soundtrack in general, if it ever comes out on vinyl, I will buy it. It's so dancey. It's like I want to do like a little waltz to this. Even though it's not a waltz. Is it? 1, 2, 3, it's 4/4. But there's something different about this room since the last time we were here, isn't there?
We can always use the time to investigate some more thoroughly.
Somebody must have brought that in. Let's take a look at this, though. The photograph of Mrs. Vigil.
Realizing the identity of this lady was a very great clue to exposing Mr. Gossip's true identity.
I want to know how much of him being named Gossip is the localizers trying to make a reference to Usopp from One Piece. Because he really did look a lot like him. By the way, over the weekend, or I guess yesterday, was watching a little bit of One Piece from the very beginning in good friend of the stream Sprint's Discord. We got all the way up to the end of the Buggy arc, which is only like 10 episodes, but still, that's a lot for me. And I intend to catch up to One Piece, hopefully at some point. I don't even know if that's physically possible without me watching like every single day. It's a long anime now. Apparently it started in 1999. I wasn't even aware of that. I first became aware of it when it came to 4Kids in like the mid-2000s. His name in the original is also Gossip. Oh! Well, it could still... Okay, so not the localizers, but it could be Capcom Japan themselves making a reference to Usopp, because that was also his name in Japanese One Piece. Usopp. Like Aesop's Fables, but Uso as in lie.
He obviously loves his wife very dearly, which is why he felt he couldn't tell her the truth.
The transformation was incredible, wasn't it? Just from that big twisted lip.
Yes, he went to extraordinary efforts to play the part of Hugh Boone convincingly.
Although, it didn't really seem like it was much of an effort to me.
Now that you say it, I have to agree.
It was almost as if that was Mr. Vigil's true character.
People really are very hard to fathom at times.
Saying that away from his wife, he's finally himself. That's a little messed up. Could be like a Batman thing. Apparently, a plot point in a lot of the Batman comics and shows is how Batman is so ingrained into Bruce Wayne's identity that if a villain tries to read or like fake reading his mind and try to be like, Bruce Wayne, I know it's you in there. You really want to let the Joker go. He's not a bad guy. Batman immediately knows it's a trap. Immediately knows the mind reading is fake. Because he does not call himself Bruce Wayne in his mind. He calls himself Batman in his mind, because of course he does. The eternal edgelord that he is. Gotham City, more like goth Batman. Just imagine, give him the black lipstick, the eyeliner. It catches your eye as soon as you enter the room, doesn't it? This little red dog, shaving. It's such a bright color, it certainly makes an impression, yes. They can't possibly commit any crimes, can they? I mean, redheads stand out like a sore thumb. I'm afraid with our jet black Japanese hair, we stand out almost as much here in London. Hey, black hair isn't that uncommon in London, is it? Ah, I suppose that's true. Goth Batman. Imagine pastel Batman. Be very hard to operate in the darkness of the night, wouldn't it? If I watch 10 episodes of One Piece a day, it'll take like 120 days. Great! I'll be done in a third of a year. Come back to me in January. You mustn't think of committing any crimes, Mr. Naruhodo. I wasn't. How dare. Nate read the manga, watched the fights. Ooh, it is animated very spectacularly. Even though it started in the 90s, like, the animation was always super clean. The art style is to thank for that. It almost makes me nostalgic, watching the, like, hand-animated cell animation from back then. From the end of the 90s era, when they only starting to transition to digital animation. It's so nice. If it turns out that Gregson didn't actually die in here at all, where on earth could he have been killed? Well, one way or another, we must find out, for the inspector's sake. You know, you look awfully pale again today, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry. When I start thinking it all through, I conjure up some horrible images in my mind. Your imagination is the culprit here, then. Most certainly guilty. Take it away. Put it in handcuffs. Jam those handcuff biscuits in my ear. You still got some of those? Oh, sorry, I ate them all.
I am the knight. The neon knight. I am the flashing open sign that flashes in the night. I am Neon Sideman.
With his villain, the analog close sign. Using a candle as a timer device, very ingenious, I must say. Yes, the culprit arranged it so that the firecracker would be set up at 5 o'clock, and then left. So that a loud bang was heard at precisely the moment Lord Venzix arrived, yes. That is way too complicated. It's Rube Goldberg-esque, might as well be an escape room, and it is the way that Ace Attorney, I think, should be. At least I like figuring them out backwards. It's a lot more interesting than just having someone cover up the evidence, you know? If only he hadn't picked up that gun from the floor. Something you probably told yourself once upon a time, I imagine? Yes, I've learned that lesson by bitter experience. I would have turned and run a mile for sure. But then Giselle Brett might have gotten away with it. Which may not have done you any favors either. Actually, Naruhodo wouldn't have even become an attorney if that never happened. Heck, you could make an entire Marvel what-if about this. Maybe Phoenix Wright would have never been born. I never have imagined that this little figurine would turn out to be a watch-winding key. I suppose it's a policeman because the pocket watch was a gift from Scotland Yard. It seems there was much more to Inspector Gregson than we ever realized. He was clearly a brilliant man. It's the fish and chips that threw us off. I feel as though it ruined his image. Made him seem like some sort of quirky anime character. I really don't think we should blame one of Britain's staple cuisines. But think about it. Imagine if it was Mr. Sholmes. How would you feel if instead of that old briar pipe that's always in his hand, Mr. Sholmes had a bag of chips? You know, it doesn't matter how refined Mr. Sholmes looks. One word out of his mouth and you immediately recognize his true character. Also, I would love a bag of chips. Bag of fries. Rather disappointed, if I'm honest. Exactly. And he would be a lot more out of shape. Honestly. Neon Batman would live in a kawaii Arkham City. Giving a whole new meaning to I am Batman, eh? This revolver. You're pretty good. Revolver? Ocelot. Just who does it belong to?
Oh, that would be me. revolver, ocelot.
Well, now we know it's the type issued to members of the police force and judiciary. But Gregson's own gun was found on his person. Are you sure? Did it have his ID number? And of course, Lord Van Zeeks was admitted to losing the firearm with which he was issued. Such absent-mindedness, not dissimilar to you, Mr. Naruhodo. Circles are shapes too. Oh yeah, just alternate universe. Give me fat Herlock Sholmes. I would definitely not have as much trouble seeing him like doing weird poses in the window if he was shaped like that. Revolve this. Well, fish and chips and beef sounds like a good meal. I'm starting to think that the cold-hard prosecutor and I could have become friends after all. Then I wish you every success. Alright. Looks like I can't avoid the elephant in the room any longer. Or, you know, the trunk in the room. That's part of an element. Hee. This little trunk wasn't in here before, was it? Oh, it appears to be made of metal. It must be very heavy. Yo, there's a slash in it, though. I wonder to whom it belongs. It looks so nice. I would like a case like that. Tobias Gregson! There's some initials on the outside, look! TG! Of course! It belongs to... Theodore Roosevelt. Let's ask one of the policemen if they know who came to be here. Oi! What do you think you're doing? Nice to see you, Gina. That's my trunk, that is! Hands off! Gina! How's you doing? How's your face? Also, I don't think TG initializes to Gina Lestrade. Gina! What were you hiding? I don't know, you leave something unattended for a few seconds, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got his greedy eyes on it. Just a wild guess, Gina, but... What? Spit it out, Odo! Is it fair to say that you've only owned the trunk since this morning's trial? What? What are you trying to say? Come on, this trunk goes with me anywhere! Always has! Where have you been last year? Well... I did see you last year, and you certainly did not have that trunk. Trying not to incur your wrath, mainly. First of all, have you seen my badge, though? You know that this armband is to show that you're a defense lawyer in Japan. Have I told you that? Yeah, defense lawyers. Whose side are you lot on anyway, eh? Trying to help criminals get off the hook? Gina, I literally defended you once. Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper. Not Gina, too. Oh. It's... You've been on the police force for how long, and you've already abandoned all sense of justice? There's a line from one of the latest Marvel What Ifs. The police are the law, but I want justice. I firmly believe that, which is why I offered to advocate for him. Yeah, but what if you're wrong? What if he really is the Reaper? If it turns out he did do it, how are you gonna feel then, eh? I have to believe in my client. It's all I can do. That was a little more morose than I wanted to hear. Maybe not morose, that was a little more depressing. Your boss. Your baby. You should hear them talking at the yard now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're saying it was the boss who killed all them bludgers. Ah, you mean the whole Reaper thing. She doesn't want to believe Toby's a Reaper. She wants to believe it's Van Zeeks so that she could keep her boss's image in her mind pure. Yeah. Apparently the boss was investigating stuff that no one else at the yard knew nothing about. Stuff to do with all them criminals what got off scot-free. Yes, the ones prosecuted by Lower Van Zeeks who used bribery and corruption to evade conviction.
Well then, obviously, it was that bloomin' Reaper giving the orders, wasn't it?
But why would people be suspecting Inspector Gregson of being involved in the killings?
There was a notebook in his office.
Oh no, this doesn't sound good.
It had details about all the crimes that have been pegged as the Reaper's work.
What?
No! Did you see it, Gina? Did you see that notebook? They wouldn't flaming let me! Because I'm just an apprentice, apparently! But it was me who found it, and he was my boss!
That's right. I think you deserved a look.
I was pretty miffed about it, so I sneaked a peek at what it said anyway.
There's our Gina. Like a true inspector. Good job.
Oh!
That's our Gina. Sometimes I am scared by how well I accidentally predict the writing in these games. I have become one with the Capcom writing staff, apparently. A secret notebook. Sounds like a Sherlock Holmes story, to be sure. So you managed to see what was written in Gregson's secret notebook anyway, did you?
Well, I see it. It's my right to read what he wrote. And what did he written, Gina?
I'm turning into Ryunosuke. I am one. I am one with the dragon I see. That's basically his name. Dragon Boy, I understand.
Dates, times, places, names? How long list of them? All details about the bludgeons supposed to have been done in by the Reaper.
So, you know, either that means that he is very good at investigating the Reaper, or he was. As much as I love the smug look on your face, I'm just gonna have to wipe it off.
But there could have been an explanation for that. Perhaps it was a record of the inspector's investigations into the Reaper's activities. Exactly! That's what I said! That's the first thing you think, right? As it happens, it was full of names I recognize anyway.
I keep accidentally opening it because I accidentally bumped the ZR button. Well, the Reaper's targets were almost exclusively known leaders of London's criminal underworld.
Well, yeah, but there was one name right at the end that was a bit odd.
At the end of the list, you mean?
I'm pretty sure the date against it was 31st October.
Halloween? Happy Halloween. You're right! Oh, wait a minute. This case started on November 1st. That means that it was Halloween. Oof. All Hallows Eve, indeed.
Oh, the day before the inspector was found dead.
Maybe his true date of death. So, what was the odd name?
It wasn't like a name I ever seen before. It was something like,
Oh no. Oh no.
Nah, it's no good. I can't remember it. I don't think it was an English name, put it that way.
Japanese name?
Oh dear, what a pity. There was something else too. I don't know if it matters, but the same name kept coming up over and over.
Genshin Asogi?
Assassin. Shin it was. Don't suppose it means anything, but...
Did you say Shin?
What? It does mean something.
Lord Van Zeeks knew the name too. He mentioned her as well. The woman who actually did the deeds. And now we find out her name appeared in Gregson's secret notebook? Oh my wamo. Shinderu. Nani? Assassin! Assassin! This case is gonna stretch into Spooktober. Ay, jeez. We haven't even gotten to a second day of trial yet. It's okay. I'm going to... Even though I know I'm gonna be playing spoopy games for October, I'm still gonna be playing Great Ace Attorney. Not because I think it's spoopy or nothing, but I just want to keep playing it. I don't want to put it on break. I want to keep at least playing it once a week. So, you know, pace is going to be a little slower, but I want to make sure people keep up with the story. Because if I shelve this for a month, then not only am I going to forget, but also everybody watching is going to forget. Or just watch somebody else play it. Somebody bigger and more famous than me, you know? You know, actually, I found out that there is one of those YouTube, like, game analysis channels who did a whole, like, review of The Great Ace Attorney. And I found out that they linked to several Let's Plays in the description of their video. They actually just linked to 2. They linked to Nico B's, who's pretty famous for playing the Ace Attorney games, and mine. Out of all the people on YouTube who played The Great Ace Attorney, they put my Let's Play up there. And no wonder so many people, like, started watching my Let's Play, but also, that's a lot of pressure. I wish I was a better streamer back then, but, you know, I wouldn't be the streamer I am today without playing that game, so it's fun to look back on. But now I kind of wish I just replayed the first one. Yeah, freaking fancy. Like, it wasn't a small video. It had thousands of views, which is probably why the first episode of my Let's Play has thousands of views. My Ace Attorney's a step above. Well, thank you, Lilu Payne. You know, I just read. That's what I've been always good at since I was a kid, just reading. I talked about this during my Deltarune playthrough. I used to just read video games instead of read books for my school assigned reading assignments. It's like, read 20 pages of a book. I'm like, I played Final Fantasy VII for an hour. Is that like 20 pages? Probably. Anyway, we haven't seen you for a little while, have we, Gina? Well, of course not. I've been busy, ain't I? Investigating and that. The lads at the yard are trying to trace the boss's movements the day before it happened. The day before? That would be the undercover investigation into the Red-Headed League, then. Only the boss didn't go, did he? You found some cove what was pretending to be him, didn't you, Odo? Which, if anything, provides evidence that Gregson was already dead. Omae wa mou shinderu? Yes, it was Mr. Vigil who actually went to the park on Live Street that day, posing as Gregson. Well, anyway, you ain't the only one turning stuff up. I've got my own ways of getting results. Hey? Toby! Oh, he's a little pupper boy. When me and me partner gear get together, there's nothing we can't track down. Give us a little bark, Toby. Come on, boy, speak. Oh, little Toby, he's such a faithful friend. So, have you tracked anything down then? What do you think, eh? Of course we have. Oh, can't tell you though. Police business, isn't it? Well, okay. We'll just give Toby something to sniff at and he'll instantly go darting off. Look at his little toe beans. Oh, doggo. What's up, Kamen Rider? I see the dog has gotten you out of lurk. Of course, of course. Don't the dog, Ryunosuke. He's allowed to keep some secrets as a treat. Reading Final Fantasy XIV is a full book a day. That's one of the reasons I don't really get into MMOs that much. Because all the lore is in like the quest dialogue and whatnot, and they always gotta be like 3 whole pages for every little small mission. Why it gotta be like that? Why can't the guy asking me for 10 boar asses just say, yo, I'm hungry. Give me 10 boar asses so I can cook dinner. That's it. That's all I need them for. I don't need to give a whole story of how I've been working these farms for over 20 years now, and my family is starving and I need to provide for them, but I just can't. I can't hunt anymore with my bum knee. Please, please, Warrior of Light, help me. Anyway, the point is, if you lot ever need any help, you know who to turn to, right? Me and the Hellhound here. The Hellhound. Right? Because he looks oh so hellish, honest. Welcome back to streaming. Thank you, Mr. Common. How was Sea of Thieves today? I saw you were playing with some friendos. Did you do any piracy? What do you actually do in Sea of Thieves? Like, what was accomplished today? Let me know. If I ever install it, I want to know like what that entails. Is Deltarune turning into a JRPG now? Apparently. Yeah, here we go. We got new characters in the light world. We got these lightners. We're gonna take them into the fireplace over there. That's the new fountain. How you doing, Dusk? Gina, how about your hellhound there? Wine Rib loves knowing that I did that for required reading. If only you were that smart. Well, it's a good thing they never required me to, like, talk about what I was reading. They were just like, go read something. Chief Inspector Toby, you mean? He's the pride of the force, he is! In Japanese, police dog means something quite different, and not altogether nice to those involved in crime. Oh? But here in Britain, it's a wonderful compliment, it seems. For a canine, at least. It should be. After all, in the great exhibition case the other day, it was Toby here who managed to locate Drebber's workshop. Maybe it's time for another demonstration of what a super dog can do, eh? Do we have something the Chief Inspector could catch the scent of, I wonder? Something of Toby's, maybe. I mean, something of Tobias's. Now that the Chief Inspector... Now that we have a dog named Toby.
Take that!
The watch? Well, Chief Inspector Toby, if you wouldn't mind having a sniff of this. I love when he does that. He's like a little gun. Bang, bang. He might be a little too keen, don't you think? Hey. Whoa, 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 whoa! Ah! Gina, are you okay? The Chief Inspector made short work of Gina there. Gina! Gina, say something! Oi, what? She's fine. Huh. Look what he's got to. Trunk. Oh my, that trunk clearly still has a very strong scent. It's dog magnetism. Woo. She got caught in between the opposing poles of Inspector Gregson. Gee, if there was ever any doubt that it was his. In other words, it must have belonged to him. Now, I know there's an accolade for talking to Gina after some incident with Toby, so maybe this is it? Oh, all right. It's a fair cop, I suppose. You nearly got away with it, too. If it weren't for that meddling dog, you kid. You always talk so proudly of Chief Inspector Toby's nose and what it can achieve. Did it not cross your mind that he might identify something that was right next to us? Yeah, that was a bit of a bloomer, wasn't it? Was a bit of underwear? That's enough now then, Gina. Hey? I think it's time you told us the truth about that trunk. Bum-ba-da-bum. It won't like that. It just won't. What are you talking about? Bloomers? Budema? I know it's going through the head of yours. Well, that ain't what happened. Bloomers? Alright then. What did happen? Well, like I said before, we were just trying to trace the boss's movements. So I let Toby have a whiff of the boss's overcoat. And as soon as I'd done that, he went off like a shot. Pew! Straight to that sandwich. Sandwich? What sandwich? To a sandwich? Not to a bag of chips? Surprising. Mr. Naruhodo, I believe that Gina means the witness. Oh, the dude, the guy named Sandwich, Sandwich Board Man. I forgot about him entirely. Oh, I forgot about that, Sandwich. Forgive me, it's been over a week. Ha, actual hero. Yeah, he had it in between them wooden boards of his, the boss's trunk. What? You mean, when they heard the sound like a gunshot and no pilot in here? Exactly! He nabbed it for the scene! That dirty son of a snake. Remind me never to visit his establishment that he's apparently advertising. Goodness! I like that Suzato is just fulfilling the role of obligatory anime reaction today. Goodness, oh my! Just like Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Oh my! Me and the chief inspector gave that sandwich a good grilling. I get it.
And you know what he said?
Suzato be like, boing!
I thought he might fetch a good price and the chap wouldn't be needing it anymore, so... But that's all I need. Nothing more, nothing less.
What do you Adam and Eve the cheek of it, eh? Stealing the dead boss's stuff to flog. That is scummy. So Miss Venus wasn't the only one to meddle with the scene of the crime then. Every one of them, every witness that got brought into that day, just a dirty freaking snake. I hate all of them so much. But I love them, but I hate them. How could they? So anyway, that's how it happened. And it's a pretty decent trunk, so I figured I might as well make use of it. Is there something wrong with that, eh? Well? Did you ever get it open? Maybe you and Mr. Sandwich should try to find the answer to that question together. Should I get an achievement or something? I don't seem to have gotten an accolade. I think perhaps that trunk should be turned over to the police, don't you? What are you on about? I am the police! Yeah, but you know, like, the proper police. I am proper police! Uh-huh. Gina, if you wouldn't mind, could we maybe examine it? You know, by the way, I meant to show this off, like, another day, but I'm just so proud of it that I might as well, like, see how it's working. But I figured out a little trick that I saw some other VTuber do, where I can actually enable this filter that, boom, bam, makes it look like my avatar is being lit by the room. So like the general light color and like little back rim lighting. Look at it, it looks a little bit weird because the top of my emote is a square. But just pretend that I had this on my actual VTuber. And like, look, if I change suddenly the lighting of the scene, check it out. It matches. It's like I'm in the room. It's really cool. It'll be a lot cooler when I play spooky games and like, it'll be in a dark room and I'm like, trying not to get jump scared and all of a sudden something goes, rah! Rah! And then I just lose my pants. To fright. I just spook my pants. Ambient chicken. This would be so bad in real life. What part of this crime scene hasn't been tampered with, yo? Yeah, alright then. Do what you want with it. Thank you. We shall make a detailed record of our examination of the evidence. Diddle-a-doo. Inspector Gregson's metal traveling trunk, subsequently recovered by Gina. See, look at that, when it flashes. I'm reminded of that dog from One Piece that was literally just voice acted by a person going, what's the matter with Toby? Why is he acting so aggressively towards me all of a sudden? Hey? Mr. Naruhodo, be careful. It must be the trunk. I can't trust anyone, not even the dog. Where's the QuickTime event? Where's the QuickTime event? I just got a Resident Evil 4 game over. Toby, Ollie, what are you doing? You gotta lick his face off. I know I'm tasty, but please. Mr. Naruhodo! Mr. Naruhodo! Gina, quickly, hail a carriage! Hail a hearse! Hail the colonel! Good. I have not been in a coma for an entire day. It is only 5 p.m. 2nd November, 4:57 p.m. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. First, Kazuma trips over a cat. Now I'm knocked out by a puppy. He's a fast dog, you know? He may not be very big, but he definitely has, like, momentum. Oh, man, what a dream. I had this nightmare that Tobias Gregson died. and I had to do a trial against my own friend, Kazuma Asogi. I'm so glad I imagined all of that. What's happening? We got knocked out by a little puppy. It was hilarious, and also I think I'm dying.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, are you alright?
Bib's lurking. Have a good lurk, Bibelo. Hope you're doing good.
Mrs. Otto.
Mr. Sholmes. Doing? I must still be dreaming. Ah! Sholmes, you're not hiding any records of a Mr. Clint Van Zeeks, are you?
Ah, conscious again at last. A blessed relief, my dear fellow. After all, to drop dead after a moderate licking by a small terrier, most unseemly.
Is Toby a terrier? What the? Sholmes, are you alright? I think you fell like under that table. What isn't or isn't seemly is irrelevant here, Mr. Sholmes. I love the animations so much. Sholmes, are you alright? Are you okay? Are you still in one piece? Or did you fall apart like Buggy the Clown?
I'm so glad there's no lasting damage. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, thank you. Did you bring me back here? She's strong. What's this on my head? A bandage?
Sadly, we had no ice, so that's a compress of sugar water.
Oh, nice. Why sugar? Am I going to absorb it through my forehead? Sugar water?
Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a first aid treatment that my father taught me.
Oh. Thank you. It smells nice.
So, let us take tea when you're feeling up to it. But of course, no sugar in the patient's cup.
Oh, I like sugar though. Oh, the bump in my head is throbbing sweetly enough, don't worry. Honestly, I like tea without sugar. Like, the more earthy it tastes, the better. Especially like barley tea. It just tastes like the bottom of a rice cooker. If that makes any sense. It's almost a nostalgic taste for me. Some Korean restaurants serve like the soup at the bottom of a rice cooker pot. Just water mixed with rice. And it's just so... You just can't replicate that flavor any other way. This is where you get the accolade? Okay, I'll be sure to go talk to Gina. Thank you.
Whenever you feel ready, then.
Look at him standing menacingly. Okay, before I mess anything up, let's go... Actually, let's just save. That way I make sure I don't mess anything up. There you go. That's a money-back guarantee for you right there.
What can I do you for, King DDD? I need a monster to climb with that there Kirby.
You should get it with a money-back guarantee. Immediately wake up, go back to the Fresno Street room. Ha! You drink regular hibiscus green tea of unsophisticated taste buds. Hibiscus tea is good though. I like it. Gina's not here. Where am I supposed to find her then? Where would she be? If anybody happens to know, or if I'm not supposed to be able to do it yet, I'm in the right place? Hello? Oh, maybe she's just on the other side of the room? Oh, there she is. So dudes, what's up, Evan? How you doing? Welcome to investigation. We just got knocked out by a dog. And also, I am ambiently lit. Look at me. I'm in this little dark room. It looks so nice. Now I wish I had my old VTuber back. Should I go do it? Should I launch VTube Studio and relaunch the old chicken? I took so much effort trying to make this work with all the other redemptions you can put on. Like, go ahead, try redeeming Pompadour and Shifty Eyes and all that. It'll work properly with this lighting. It really does. Go try it. Gina, I'm really sorry.
It's daft, isn't it? If you asked me a year ago, the cops could go A for all I cared.
I mean, why does it have to be a year ago?
Well,
gotta have police, ain't we? To catch the bludgers. We could have Batman instead. Should we start 1800s Batman? So us divers can go about our business in peace. Wait, sorry? I don't think I can have heard that properly. Good, now I am ambiently lit Spampton. He said he was gonna teach me everything I needed to know to be a detective. All he got round to showing me is where the best flaming fish and chip shops are. Actually, that reminds me. Of fish and chips? Oh, no, autopsy. Gregson said he was supposed to be going to Paris in the near future, didn't he? Is something wrong? Oh, no. I'm sure I'm reading too much into things. It's just that the timing seems very coincidental. Huh? RTX on. That's me. Look at these graphics. You know, the boss was acting a little bit strange recently. Like he was always in a rush. Hey? Best chips in town. Well, that's a nice little bit of flavor. Whether it be fish and chips, lemon lime, or just emotional dialogue. Well, thank you for letting us know, Gina. I'll leave you to your own. You've got a lot to think about. And I need to continue recovering from my recent dog attack. Nice pompadour. Look at that. Even that's nicely well lit. Alright. But Susato, have you seen my armband? Oh! Oh, this is new. I stayed up late to mend that for you the other day, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you. Who did a really seamless job? You're very welcome. It's all in a day's work for your judicial assistant. The only thing is, I accidentally dropped it into the Thames yesterday, and now it rather smells. Well, she's not gonna do the laundry too. Then take better care of it, please. Wash it yourself, Naruhodo. It was all going so well, until I ruined it. You enjoyed the old chicken, but this 2D one too. Don't worry, a new one is in the works for sure. I just need to get off my ass and actually make it. The problem is I have to make it all at once because I created the old one on a trial of Live 2D. And it only lasts like a couple of days before the trial expires. I can use a different computer to make it again, or, you know, I could just buy Live 2D. But that means I have to have, like, all the pieces ready to map to 2D. I basically have to have it all ready to go. The things I do to save a little bit of cash. Look at how the light changes when I open the court record. It's so cool. Oh, it's too cool. This power is too much for one chicken to behold. Is it a monthly sub? Oh, that could be why I'm not paying for it. As much as possible, I try not to pay for subscription things. I guess I should just talk to Shomes. Oh, you were right, Mr. Naruhodo. It's rather unusual to find ourselves here in the middle of our investigations. You brought me here? It just occurred to me that I might have forgotten something when we left this morning. Please don't worry. As long as you continue to investigate thoroughly, you won't go far wrong. Oh, yes, of course. I must get back to work as soon as possible. Well, that was a load of nothing. Alright, Shomesy. What you got? For that reason, I'm gonna... When my subscription period is ending for, Adobe, I'm just gonna cancel it. I honestly don't need Photoshop. I have Clip Studio. And Photoshop Essentials, which is a one-time payment, not a sub. And Adobe Premiere, I can just use DaVinci Resolve. Like, everything I actually use has alternatives that are free. I just don't need to keep lining Adobe's pockets. Thank you for your concern, Mr. Shomes.
My dear fellow, think nothing of it. I must say I was quite startled when I heard that you'd been attacked by a dog.
You got Affinity. What is Affinity? Is that a art program?
For a moment, I feared that infamous murderer of so many had come back from the dead.
Oh, you mean the professor's dog. You mean the professor?
Fortunately, I see your prized throat is unscathed.
Yeah, I need that. I need that for voice acting objections.
That stiff, turned-up collar of yours obviously afforded some welcome protection.
Right, that's why I wear it like that. Was I that close to death? All I really remember is the dog licking my face over and over and over again.
Well, if you wish to avoid such troubles in the future, a little mustard spread on the cheeks should do the trick.
Isn't mustard like really bad for dogs?
I should think that would balance the sweetness of your bandage rather splendidly.
Okay, my face is my face, not a hot dog. Miss Ryan ripped just in Adobe's pockets. I mean, aren't we all? That's why as much as possible I try to advocate the alternatives. Here's one thing that I just strongly believe, hot take or not. Photoshop is not an art program. If you're using it to draw, if you're using it to create, like, it will work, sure. But there's so much quality of life and tools that you're missing out on by not using something like Paint Tool Sci or Clip Studio, or even if you want something like big name, Procreate on like iPad Pro or something. Like, all way better tools for drawing than Photoshop. Like, if you needed to actually edit photos, then yes, it has features that those programs don't have. But it really depends on what you need it for. Whenever you serve me tea, it always takes me back to Japan. I know you're not particularly fond of the bitter taste, are you? So I do always try to pick out less bitter matcha for you. She does often serve up an unusually mellow blend, it's true. The anticipation of the taste in my mouth makes me bitterly worried anyway. Do you even get matcha in Britain like this? It's very difficult for you, isn't it? I say bring on the bitter matcha. When I was in Japan, I tried this matcha ice cream that tasted like dirt, but in a good way. It had like syrup drizzled on it too. Can I talk about Shomes yet? Hello? You can at least inspect Gregson's trunk now. Like, look at that, it's got a cut in it. Affinity programs, photo designer publisher programs, alternative to Adobe. Oh, it's like a whole suite. I gotta check it out. Have you seen this huge gash across the side of the trunk here? It's gone right through the leather and into the metal behind. Gosh, for a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged, whatever made the gash must have struck the side of the trunk with considerable force. I wonder how it happened. Can I open it? I need a key of some sort. Yo, it's a cross lock. Those are cool. Matcha tea, something you can't get into? It's not for everybody, to be sure. Look at me, I'm like the color of the trunk now. Let's have a look inside. No, it's just a button. What is this? Hello? A letter? Look, there's something inside. I can't read it. Ooh, let's see. It appears to be a passport, authorizing him to travel overseas. Was Inspector Gregson about to go on a trip abroad then? Yeah, Paris, we knew that. Perhaps that the date of departure might tell us something? That was... Oh! What is it? It was for travel on 31st October, just one day before the incident. What? Really? Maybe... Yeah, travel to France. Oh, jeez. On the day he was to retire. Not really retire. But on the day he was to travel. Oh. Gregson went to France the day before this body was discovered. He was going to go to France, or did he actually go? What? Is that it? What about these bottles then? Brush? That a shaving kit? Blood! Look at this dark stain here. Do you think? Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood. I knew you were going to say that. So that presumably means that this was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. Oh, maybe somebody bonked him on the head with it? It's the most logical conclusion, yes. To think Gina's been carrying this around with her. If you didn't know any better, I'd suppose it does look like a grease stain from all the fish and chips. Well, that's unsettling.
I just hope this isn't Toby's blood.
Maybe he used it as a shield? Maybe. Ooh, I can look at this. Tobias Gregson, ACD 0522. Departure within 1 week from 31st October. Port of Dunkirk, France. Purpose of travel, police business. Permission for the applicant and one additional person? Oh yeah! For Gina! What should have been? You had matcha from Duncan. Who knows if they made it right? Probably not. Probably not. Buy it from a Japanese market if possible. Do I present one of these to Susato? Let's see if she has any hints about where we should go. What are we gonna place? Decorations here. Any ideas, chat? I'm kind of at a loss. I got attacked by a dog, and now what? I guess I just start going places? Oh, look at this. Actually, that's new. I'm relieved that you're alright. Have some tea and relax. Okay. Okay, never mind. This is it. 2nd November. Shoms is sweet. German? Hello? Excuse me? What is happening here?
Herr mit dem Knacker ich befahl, hat wie ein Diamant den Zahn entzweie, es brach, o über deine Wut.
Is that? Who was there? Is that Professor Mikotoba? Is he alive?
No, it's an old German folk song. Rather a fine rendition, I think.
Can anyone translate? That's the least of my concerns. Trust no one, not even Iris. Iris, what did you do? Iris? Iris, what's the matter? Oh, there's a broken teapot, though. Who's that sprawling, that relaxed gentleman over there? Iris? Is she even listening?
Excuse me, sir. I do apologize for troubling you whilst you're singing so merrily, but would you be kind enough to explain the situation?
He's not singing, it's a recording. Well, that worked.
A crooning gentleman and a mute young girl. A rather tantalizing juxtaposition. And one that appears to have incited the gods of deduction within me to find their voices too.
Mr. Shomes, do you mean? Oh, we're gonna have a deduction. Pew, 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 pew. Never let me do that ever again.
The strains of reasoning within me are playing now as a delightful duet. One melody sings a reunion full of nostalgia, whilst the other is a morose theme about the great secret you're trying so desperately to conceal, Iris.
She's turned as white as a sheet. You didn't kill that guy with a poison tea, did you? So as usual, you've instantly seen to the very heart of the matter. Oh, Shom sees all. He does the right math and comes to the wrong conclusion. Perfect compliment to my wrong math, right conclusion.
And by the time my own brief performance is over, I feel sure this gentleman's song will reach its finale. So then, to Music Land, where all is sweetness and delicacy and harmony.
Hold on, you know I gotta save this.
Pray, do enjoy Sherlock Holmes's latest Logic and Reasoning Spectacular.
Susato, able to tell who Kazuma is by his posture, despite the mask and cloak. Also Susato, unable to recognize her own father despite having the mustache and the same clothing, and the same mask, by the way. Please tell me Professor Mikuroba just passed out.
Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly, he's a German with no grasp of the English language, as evidenced by the Germanic song he sings and his apparent inability to understand when asked to desist. So why is the man here at all, and in such apparently high spirits?
I don't know what high spirits looks like to you, sir, but certainly not that. Also, this is amazing. Look, I'm late just like Sholmes is.
The answer, of course, Iris, is clearly known to you. Indeed, we need only follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unravel with a particular part of this mystery.
She instantly looks away when he says that.
The reason for the man's mildly irritating wobbling is revealed by the herbal tea.
Man, it's no floating anti-gravity room, but this is still amazing.
You obviously offered our German guest a cup of your latest herbal blend. The tea's delectable flavor has made the man's spirits soar, and resulted in this joyfully ditty tumbling incessantly from his lips. I eagerly await sampling this flavor myself, that I may join the fellow in his state of elation. Now to the next question.
Looked like he's in a drunken stupor. I bet Iris, she said she was going to brew tea just for us. Was she trying to like make some sort of MIB neuralizer, like forgetting concoction? Or at least trying to get us drunk so that we pass out and investigate into this no further? Something like that, I reckon.
Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly of their cité? As it happens, a number of years ago now, a certain gentleman of German origin engaged my services in solving a particularly delicate case. He required the retrieval of letters once sent to an acquaintance that might have proved problematic.
What was his name, Gavin?
In order to conceal his noble identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund von Ormstein.
Whoa, like the kid, Gotts!
The King of Germany. What? If my memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical.
That's just the mask that freaking Kazuma's wearing.
Yes, there's no question. That mask belongs to the King of Germany. Where did he get that?
This dance of reduction is ridiculous. All of them are, but you know, this might take the cake. Cake.
It would appear that His Majesty remembers the fine service I afforded him, and has decided to show his face again, mask and all.
Okay, that's a little bit of a contradiction.
All in order to express his gratitude. A well-mannered monarch indeed. Wouldn't you agree, my dear fellow?
Don't look at me.
Cake is made with eggs. Sure is.
So the identity of this masked visitor is in fact my former client, the King of Germany. Indeed, his son is currently in London as well, enjoying the wonders of the great exhibition.
Bohemia! Oh, I am very brightly lit now. Girls, silence. She might have like a swig of tea in her mouth as we speak.
Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable. Yes, you, young Iris. But your apparently inexplicable silence is unable to hide the truth.
Oh, what?
Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside that knapsack. A 5-pound note, I believe. I must say, as your compatriot, I'm deeply saddened. We could have used that to pay rent, Iris. Would you like us to live out on the streets?
Yo, new thumbnail, let's go. Hold on, I'll take a picture at the right moment.
Yeah. It would appear that you've allowed yourself to be bribed into silence by His Royal Highness, earning yourself some spending money in exchange for keeping quiet about the king's secret. And now the final piece of the puzzle. What is this secret you strive to hide with your silence, Iris? Ah, yes, we need only follow that brief involuntary twitch of your eyes to find the answer. What? You are attempting to abscond with that coffee cup.
What's left of it?
My favorite coffee cup, in fact.
What's left of it?
Or should I say, the handle of my favorite coffee cup. It appears that His High-Spirited Highness broke it in the midst of his high jinks. Which leads us to the sad, sad truth. My favorite coffee cup has been broken by the King of Germany, and Iris, you tried to conceal it from me! I shall have a bill sent via governmental channels to the German royal family for its replacement.
Sholmes, you maybe don't do that. To hide the coffee cup.
Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes's great deduction of this painful puzzle.
Mit dem Schwarzbiergebot brodelt wie
Yeah, same.
Feuerberg, den Schlund es mir verbrannt. Ach,
With your silence as well. The fellow's jovial wobbling rather rings in the ears, does it not?
ich befahl,
Mr. Sholmes? Wow. A Sholmes' great deduction that Susato is not immediately astounded by. I must say something does rather trouble me.
Pray, Miss Susato, do tell.
That's you right now. His Royal Highness doesn't appear to have moved a muscle since we arrived.
Ah,
You haven't said a word either, Iris. If Mr. Sholmes says it all right, you might as well own up to it now. Oh, pouty face.
your reasoning isn't entirely without substance, I must admit.
And one other thing, Mr. Sholmes.
Yet another grievance, Mr. Naruhodo? Surely not. I'll add it to the bill. You can pay along with the King of Germany.
Well, I actually read the story of that case recently. The one you were just describing. And according to that, at least, it wasn't the King of Germany, it was the King of Bohemia. Yeah, about that. Gotz was Bohemian, not German. Did he just think that he was German because he spoke German? Oh, coffee cup, we knew him well.
Goodness, was it?
Yes, that's quite true. Master Gotz, the prince, testified to that in court. In his words, I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia.
Wow, Susato, that's a great accent.
Thank you. I've been working on it.
I would ask you to keep that minor error to yourselves. It could easily become quite a scandal.
Yes. Especially if you send it over to the king of Germany. Does Germany even have a king at this point in time?
I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that it is our turn now to make some corrections to a number of minor errors that may have slipped in.
Minor, yes. Yes, even Mr. Sholmes is willing to admit he might be slightly wide of the mark this time. Let me just say, in case I, like, get things wrong, maybe on purpose, I want to do that more. There's some fun, like, alternatives here that I keep trying to, like, avoid. Because I don't want to get penalized. Although it's clear that Iris is definitely hiding something. We need to find out the truth behind this mysterious scene. But one truth is incontrovertible. My favorite coffee cup is no more! So, shall we embark again on a joint presentation of Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular? Correct that course of that one chicken. He's going the wrong way. King of Germany. Clearly, he's a German. Clearly. Let's just speed through all of this. I think that's how I've granted myself to work with these by now. Because the game's gonna automatically stop the next time we can contradict something. So what? It's some mix of herbs that gives you the urge to sing? Goodness, I should like to try some. You sound beautiful, Susato. And I'd like to hear you singing, but this man... Just how long does he intend to keep up with that tune, do you suppose? As I said, he's been stuck still the entire time. And if you look closely, it's my dad. His lips aren't moving either. So I'm not sure what's actually responsible for the spirited singing. But I suspect the answer lies at the end of Iris's gaze. What you looking at? Let's get something wrong on purpose. The mask is singing. We know this mask. Oh, you're right. So does that mean? No, surely not. It couldn't be. Could it? It was here. We saw it on the table the other day. No, it's most definitely not him. What, you thought this was Asogi? Oh, no, of course it's not. Thank goodness. But then why is this gentleman now wearing it? You know, if we just took it off, we'd immediately know who it was. I'm afraid once again, I really have no idea. Try not to interfere with the scene of the crime. Well, the cup's empty, that's for sure. I suppose this mysterious gentleman must have drunk its contents. Iris's special blends are quite delicious, I agree. They always make my heart sing. So I can understand wanting to vocalize those feelings, certainly. Like beatboxing sounds like Joy-Con class. Thank you. But it's a Pro Controller. Ha! Thanks for the hydrate. I forgot there was a little bit of, actually there was a little bit of tea in my water thermos before I filled it up with water, so it's got like a very slight tea flavor. But it's like just dirty water. It tastes a little weird. It's not bad. It's not bad. It was a sweet tea, so it doesn't taste like the water is like just a little contaminated. It's just very dilute. In fact, Mr. Naruhodo, you often erupt in boisterous laughter after drinking Iris's tea. I do? Maybe I should take some lighter laughter lessons from Susato-san in the near future. Just the other day, you took a sip and you just sounded like ha 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 ha. Gramophone. Wait, this is a gramophone still rarely seen in our own country. Titus? No, he is not born yet. Actually, no, Xanarkin was 1,000 years ago, right? Dang, he might be born now. And also dead. And also alive? Final Fantasy X spoilers, maybe. I don't know.
The sound certainly appears to be coming from the horn.
But machines singing? That can't be right.
No, that's ridiculous. Science and technology are changing the world rapidly, Mr. Naruhodo. What's right is changing too.
Ugh, it's too much for my brain.
Well, at least we found our answer.
Yeah, clearly it's the teacup.
Take that!
Who else could brew a tea so delicious that it makes you want to sing? And such a long and curious tune, too. Clearly this melody can only be the famous Iris Wilson's Bohemian Rhapsody! Now I'm really glad that I got it wrong on purpose. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, Galileo, Galileo Figaro. She really is the queen of blends. Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. Ryunosuke, you're fired. That was the sound of me laying an egg. Wow, he knows about bands that don't even exist yet.
Mr. Naruhodo, with that answer, you haven't righted my reasoning in any way.
Oh, yes, that's true.
As a logician, you will never surpass me. The science of deduction and analysis requires long and patient study. I'm several steps ahead of you, and your attempts to correct me serve only to highlight your deficiencies.
Dang, another one bites the dust. Oh. This is what you get for agreeing with someone. I need to reconsider my answer then. I love it.
The song starts to get inside your head after a time, doesn't it? But is he really singing it?
You're right, and if you look closely, the man's mouth is open, but his lips aren't moving at all. The gentleman couldn't be a waxwork, could he?
One step at a time, Mr. Naruhodo. Let's...
I can't actually say he's singing it. Dang. I want to get as much wrong as possible, but I only have so many penalties.
Maybe I have enough.
Take that! Mask. The mask is singing. Jim Carrey.
My name is Cuban Pete. I'm the king of the rumba beat.
I've encountered somebody else whose behavior became very strange whilst wearing this. You're telling me the mask possesses people? Because this particular mask has some curious power to corrupt people's minds. Which is exactly what's happened to this gentleman. So what? Is that Jim Carrey under there?
Then I would say this calls for a demonstration, my dear fellow.
What? Mugshot 24, welcome.
Pray, put on the mask and show us what peculiar things it makes you do. You have us on the edge of your seats, our seats.
Sorry, I'm far too shy. Alright, let's go. Gramophone time. Yep, beep beep beep. Oop buddy boddy bop. I wonder actually. Let me just real quick. Can I? I can't open the. Oh no, I can't open the menu to load.
Take that!
Ryunosuke, just stand in the corner. Let Susato do it. The reason for the man's mildly irritating wobbling is revealed by the gramophone. Well, now I can. Let me just get those back real quick. I hope this doesn't go too far back. You made a clip, thank you. I don't do this enough. Really. Who knows, this might even be the last deduction of the game. So, I want to get the most out of it. Plus, we got plenty of time. I feel like the investigation is going to end after this, probably. So, like... maybe? So, it's been about 3 hours. So, whatever, how much we can get out of this, you know? How am I doing? You know, pretty good. Getting back to the swing of things. I haven't streamed for over a week. Just enjoying hoping that Susato's dad isn't dead. Probably because he's one of the only people involved with the professor things from 10 years ago. Really hope he's not dead. I really, really hope he's not dead. The game would not do that to me, would it? Take that! Would it? Just killing off both Tobias Gregson and Professor Mikotoba in one case. Dustin's gotta go. Have a good night. Thanks for coming on by.
Indeed, for no well-bred gentleman would break into an obscure folk song when making a social call.
What is this? What is this? I feel like this is very memeable. This pose from Sholmes right now, just presenting something.
In other words, this gentleman isn't singing at all. In fact, it would appear that the fellow is unconscious.
Not dead. Please, not dead. Is he breathing at least? Ah. The music seems to have stopped now. You think every of Sholmes' move is a meme? Ah, yes. Public domain at its finest.
I ask you, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes.
Why would I have purchased a recording of that gibberish?
How should I know? It's in your apartment.
Well, never mind. Never mind. On with the deduction.
Okay.
Who is exactly this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly of the settee?
Let me just save real quick. Let me just save real quick. I'm gonna save over this one. Can we just like take off the mask? That's like the easiest thing to do. Yeah, King of Germany, let's go. This one's easy. Although we already established it was actually the King of Bohemia, seems Mr. Sholmes intends to persist with this Germany theory for some reason. Come to think of it, the young prince was wearing a mask as well, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Master Gotz, the boy to whom you had in tears? Okay, Suzanne, okay. That is not the most defining feature of him. Don't remind me. Or anyone else. You suppose all members of the aristocracy of mainland Europe wear masks? Oh, do you suppose all members of the aristocracy of mainland Europe wear masks? I'm sure they do. Well, probably anyway. Point is, the mask doesn't belong to any king. No, I mean, you mean Asogi is a king. He's our king. No, that's right. As we well know. Because we can identify the true owner of this mask. Aww. I would imagine that if I get this wrong, it doesn't say anything fancy. Does it? Let me just save real quick. Right here. So glad that you finally are able to save during presentation. That was not a thing in Ace Attorney for so long. It was Maria Gory! There's so many things to get wrong.
Who?
I just thought this might be the masked true owner, but...
Not as far as I'm aware. Now remind me, who are you again?
Sorry?
I do my best to forget those who spectacularly hamper my logic and reasoning. Make your exit, please. Leave the deduction limelight to those who deserve it, Mr. Naruhodo.
I thought you forgot my name. Let me get one more thing wrong. Let me see if there's any special dialogue whatsoever. All these Guess Who faces. Do they have brown hair? We of all people should know that mask. That's right. After all, it's been here on the coffee table for some time now. Although how it came to be there, I really don't know, actually. Yeah, I examined it, but like, why did we have it? Let's not worry about that for now, of course. The point is, we ought to be able to clear up the matter of who owns the mask very easily. I'm gonna say Sholmes owns it.
that!
He can't say who to himself, right? Oh, what do you mean who? Yo! Alright, let me just load. I messed up so bad, Sholmes disowned me. Apparently, he disowned himself as well. So, you know, it takes all kinds. It takes one to know one. Let me just get those back real quick. Can I just enable a mode with no penalties so I can just do whatever I want? That's really how it should be. Alright. Where are you, Asogi? There you are. My best friend. Kazuma, when this is all over, we're going for fish and chips. I know the best place in London.
Take that!
Ace Attorney Creative Mode.
Yes, there can be no question. That mask belongs to Kazuma Asogi. In other words, my memory is sublimely unreliable.
Yes, you can say that again. Only you could try to make that sound positive.
Kazuma's mask has been languishing on this metal chest for several days, though that doesn't explain why the gentleman is wearing it now. But it is now a simple matter to determine our guest's true identity. After all, the gentleman is unconscious. We need only excuse ourselves in advance, gently lift the mask and peer beneath it. Uh-oh. I don't believe it. I'm afraid, Mrs. Otto, you must...
No! I think not, Mr. Sholmes.
Then it would appear our logic and reasoning has once again revealed the truth.
What? I'm afraid you must be mistaken. No, that's definitely him.
This mysterious visitor
Is my unconscious father, Yuji Mikotoba.
Susato. Logic and reasoning, or just looking and saying. You right though? Wait a minute. Prasant, thank you for the resub. Welcome. Oh, thank you for the sub. Welcome to the chicken coop. Grab a nest and get comfy. Susato gets in some of this action for once. Finally, she's the most competent of anybody in this freaking room. Well, Iris maybe more. But Iris ain't talking right now.
which leaves us with one remaining imponderable.
Yep. The coffee cup. Oh. That's a £5 note poking out from Iris's knapsack, is it?
Oh dear, I can't be sure. Most money that we encounter is in coin form.
£5 must be worth a lot in this day and age. Does anybody have, like, a value calculator showing, like, how much £5 could buy in England back then and how much that would be worth in today's US dollars?
I know. I'm not even sure if we've seen any banknotes here in Britain at all, have we?
But anyway, Father would never have paid money for Iris' silence.
He certainly seems like the silent type himself, though, judging by his present state. Should we at least ensure that he's not dead?
There must be some other reason for Iris' silence, I suppose. Perhaps what Iris is trying so hard not to give away with her eyes is something entirely different.
Well, let's see what she's looking at.
What is that? The slipper features in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, doesn't it?
It does. When I first saw it there in the mantelpiece, I very nearly fainted with excitement.
Doesn't Iris keep her Elevenses in there? Elevenses? Elevenses. The heck's on Elevenses? Elevenses. 11. A short break for light refreshments, usually with tea or coffee, taken about 11 o'clock in the morning. What? You keep your snacks in the shoe?
That part was never mentioned in the stories.
We could swap it for the Japanese equivalent of a slipper for fun. You couldn't put stuff in there, though. In other words, for a wooden geta sadly.
But then it wouldn't be possible to hide anything inside.
Which matters because we all know it's in there. Persian slipper. Okay. Just kind of looking at it. Bum ba dum. Bum ba dum ba dum bum bum. Heard it from the Lord of the Rings when the Hobbit were hungry. Yes, but what about second breakfast? This metal chest, it contains important documents, doesn't it? Yes, details of all the cases Mr. Sholmes has worked on over the years. Written up by Iris's father, if I'm remembering correctly. Iris insists that the chest is kept locked at all times. She's never once shown me inside. Well, its contents are invaluable to her, I suppose, and completely irreplaceable. But look at it now. The catch is unlocked for once. Ah, so it is! That's hard to ignore. Very. I've never seen that chest unlocked before in all the time we've been staying here at Baker Street. Oh? Guess she's looking at that. But what about the knapsack? Now I think about it, Iris always wears that little bag on her back, doesn't she? Yes, that's right. Though it's easy to forget about it because you can't see it from the front. There are 2 little felt dolls attached to it as well. Are there? I had no idea. I don't remember ever seeing them before. Where? Is it possible there's always a £5 note poking out from a bag that I just haven't noticed before too? Quite possible. I couldn't say with absolute certainty, but I think it's unlikely. Alright, let's always at least have the option of agreeing with Herlock Sholmes. Oops.
Take that!
It was the knapsack! Of course. Make another queen pun. I dare ya. Yes, the reason for Iris's silence can only be hidden inside the bag she has on her back. It's a sizable bag for a sizable secret. Mr. Naruhodo, with that answer, you haven't righted my reasoning in any way. Oh, yes, that's true. You will never surpass me. I'm several steps ahead. Oh, is that just what he says every time? Queen puns, though. Ba-da-dum-dum-dum. Ba-dum-bum-bum-ba-dum. If Iris is refusing to talk, it's surely because she was trying to hide something. So all this must be related to some secret she has. Well, I certainly don't wish to force her into revealing something she'd rather keep to herself. But that might mean your father never opens his eyes again. Don't even. Don't you think that might be a little melodramatic? Don't even dare. I can only handle so much loss in one case. Persian slipper. Oh, Croissant's got it. £5 in 1900 is about 643.26 pounds now. That's, talk about inflation, which is $859.10. My God. That's a pretty good amount of muns. Can Thames really accepts? Yo, just walking around with freaking $850 in your backpack? I would never. Obviously, the real reason for Iris's silence now is given away by this Persian slipper. The truth is, even though it's a famous item from one of your most famous mysteries, Mr. Sholmes, Iris hasn't been treating it with the respect it deserves. She's secretly been hiding chocolates inside it. And I've been secretly eating them. It's one of those shared secrets, a symbiosis that I'd thank you not to disturb, Mr. Naruhodo. Man, wouldn't the chocolates just taste like feet? Ew. How have I ended up being the person at fault here? Alright, there we go. Chocolates. I would like some circa 1900 chocolate. I mentioned earlier I bought some Oreo O's from the grocery store. It's so hard to find them. Alright, I'm only doing this so that I can immediately reload once I get control again. And then I can say that without losing any penalties. I just love the flavor of chocolate. Oreo O's are my favorite cereal. It's just that they went away for a long time and they're just finally back. You didn't notice who made those? Yeah, I think only recently did they come back. Like a couple years ago. You gotta be on the lookout for them. They were behind a freaking pole in the middle of the grocery store. They were on the shelf, but like you had to reach around the pole. So like, what, did they not want to sell them? The grocery store employees wanted to keep them all for themselves, huh? Of course, of course. Corn Pops, Rice Krispies. Those are also some of my favorites. Basically anything like either chocolatey or I guess popped grain-like. Golden grams were also one of my favorites a long time ago. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside that metal chest.
An excellent observation, for upon closer inspection, there is something different about the chest's appearance. It's kept locked at all times, and now the catch is open. Evidently, this has something to do with your refusal to speak, Iris.
Don't tell me she, like, stuffed one of the stories just, like, hiding in her mouth right now.
Well, it's a simple enough matter to incite you to speak, I'm sure. I merely need to open this chest.
Uh-oh. Look at this animation!
Here we go.
Hello? Whoa! Oh God.
Mr. Sholmes!
And that's what happened to ManokAdobo. He's dead. Never!
Oh, Hurley, I told you not to open it.
He landed in the exact same pose. So that's what it is. You had a trap in there the entire time for anybody curious about your stories, your manuscripts, huh? Ah, so you found your voice now, Iris. So that's what it is. You tried to silence us with this little trap of yours. In other words, what happened just clearly reveals the truth here. A boxing glove on a freaking extendo. The real reason for your silence until now is... This is somewhat different to the usual dance of deduction you perform with Mr. Sholmes, isn't it? Well, he's left me alone on the ballroom floor, so I'm going to have to dance this next part solo. And anyway, I need to get to the bottom of this for my own peace of mind. So no one can be penalties, huh? Now then, Iris isn't usually the silent type, so... You mean you don't actually know the answer yet? Despite that knowing point of the finger before? It's a bluff, Mrs. Atto. It's what I'm good at. Sometimes a man needs to point his finger first and think later. Now that is the ManokAdobo family secret technique. Oh, well, if you say so. I think we better examine Iris more closely and try to rescue the situation then. Alright, so it shouldn't matter at this point if I just... Oh, key. Knapsack. It shouldn't matter at this point if I get things wrong, because I've got enough penalties to last. I can't even say the coffee cup this time. Dang. There's the broken teapot, but I guess we're not talking about that. Pop-a-dop, 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 pop-a-dop. Ba-ba-da, ba-bo-ba-doop, boop-a-da, boop-a-doop, boop-a-da, ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da. Okay, I'll stop making everybody dizzy. Sorry. Alright, the real reason. Wrong answer first. Oh, there's the two little things. So I'm guessing, oh yeah, because that one's dressed up like Sholmes. This one's kind of dressed up like, not really like Iris. But these are little plushy versions of Sholmes and Iris. Analogous to the plushy ManokAdobo and Susanoo that are in all the marketing. Look at these, he's a little bunny. Detective Usagi on the case. For some reason, this knapsack is really standing out as suspicious to me today. Oh, is it? It's quite sizable enough for a sizable secret, that's what I say. Perhaps it is, but we certainly can't open it up to look inside without Iris's permission. We can, we have a warrant. Maybe. No, you're right. Who knows what might pop out and punch us? But clearly it's right. Iris. Bing! Clearly, the reason you've said nothing at all this time, Iris, is something to do with what's in your knapsack. It's a sizable bag for a sizable secret. You said that already, like 3 times.
My dear fellow, you would appear to be rather caught up in that idea.
Mr. Zato, what are you...
Well, you see, you've been left alone on the dance floor, as you say, so I'm trying to fill Mr. Sholmes' dancing shoes.
Perfect. Zato, you're amazing. Well, it's very refreshing.
Oh, but of course, I nearly forgot.
You don't need to imitate every move you know. At least don't do the penalties.
How wonderful to hear Iris's voice again.
It's just a shame it took Mr. Sholmes being thrown across the room to make it happen.
Oh, that gives me an idea. If we threw you across the room as well, she might talk some more. Susanna! No!
Iris made a sudden movement just before she spoke that's playing on my mind. I think we better have another good look around whilst trying not to be too rude by staring at her.
Yes, do try to be sensitive, Mr. Naruhodo. Susanna! Das!
Let me just see if anything else in the room is interactable at all. This is like the only chance we get to see this room in full 3D, huh? Like, look, did you ever realize that there was an entire back wall? With like a little desk here? Paintings of blobs? Look at that. Look at that right there. It's modern art. Beautiful. Just reminds me of that, like, botched Jesus restoration painting. You know the one. Yeah, you never knew there was a lamp over here. Lantern. You never knew there was a beaker. Alright, let's look at the key. That's a key she's holding, look! I'm sure that wasn't in her hands before, was it?
No, you're quite right. It's appeared as if by magic.
That's strange. A big old iron key. Where did it materialize from? I wonder. Wait, skirt. Why are we looking at her skirt? Iris always dresses in these frilly clothes, doesn't she?
I've always thought this skirt is rather delightful.
It's pretty sizable with all those frills. Sizable enough for a sizable secret. Naruhodo, stop!
You seem to be rather fond of that idea. But you certainly can't go investigating further.
Does it look like that's what I was thinking?
Take that!
I can't believe that we're acknowledging this idea. Clearly the reason you've said nothing all this time, Iris, is because you're hiding something in your frilly skirt. Naruhodo, stop. Naruhodo, stop! And what sizable frills they are for a sizable secret. Susanoo, take down now!
A typical answer of yours, my dear fellow, being wide of the mark by a sizable margin.
Mr. Zato, what do you...
Well, you've been left alone on the dance floor. Hee.
Well, you've captured, You've certainly captured the cutting sarcasm.
Of course. I nearly forgot.
You really didn't have to capture that part, though. Bad Ryunosuke. Spray him in water. Alright, key time.
Take that!
I'm sure if Iris invented a water, like, spray bottle, it would just end up, like, flooding out with the strength of a fire hose. Even though it's just a little bottle. Just invents the world's most powerful, smallest water pump. I'd like to have that water cooling my PC. That might make the water move too fast. Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is that key behind your back. Ah! When Mr. Sholmes was thrown into the air before. Just before you called out to try to stop him, you slipped something out of your mouth. Ew. That something is the key now in your hands. No doubt the key to the chest. That's not sanitary.
You're so clever, Bruno.
So now it becomes clear. Thanks to Mr. Sholmes' graphic demonstration, we can well imagine what happened here.
But...
Professor Mikotoba also opened that middle chest, only to be punched into the air. Oof! Ouch! Can't have been good for his old bones. Sorry, am I interrupting something? And lands sprawled on the settee.
Wait,
That doesn't explain all the facts. What's with the teacup? What about the stylish scarf and the cup of tea? And above all, why would he be wearing Kazuma-sama's mask? I don't know, Iris trying to hide the scene in whatever way she can. Well, for those curious details, I can think of only one explanation. They were caught in a passionate embrace. Clearly an unbelievable miracle took place in this room. Isn't that right, Iris? Consider how the room was arranged before this whole painful experience took place. When Professor ManokAdobo opened the chest, completely unaware of what awaited him inside. The mask was flung into the air just as he was only to land neatly on his face when it fell back down. I would think if he intended to open the chest, he would have moved everything on top of it first. And the teacup's journey through the air ended when it caught on the unconscious professor's finger. Now I'm filling in for Sholmes. You mean to say that the stylish scarf is actually just a tablecloth? This is the great detective's office, after all, a place of miraculous deductions. Convenient flying object placement. Yo! Would you expect anything less?
Yes, you're right. It happened exactly as you said.
Really?
Brilliant, Reno.
Really? No cap? It just all landed on him like that? No. Thus concludes Ryunosuke Naruhodo's great deduction of this punchy puzzle. Really now? I don't believe it.
So then, why don't I make a fresh pot of tea for us all?
Oh, hi. I just talked over Sholmes' objection. I'm very sad. I couldn't hear it. I wanted to hear it. Can I hear it again?
Objection! An admirable performance, Mr. Naruhodo. But in the final act of the show there, you rather missed everything of importance.
Mr. Sholmes! Ooh, you're right, there is a voice player. Heck yeah. Mr. Sholmes! I'm probably not gonna look at that until, like, the game's over, though. Because there might be spoilers.
If you would cast your mind back to my earlier deduction... Iris, clearly you're hiding a great secret. Ah! In your knapsack.
She is? From the look on her face. Mr. Sholmes must be right. Whatever the great secret is, the cat isn't out of the bag yet.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's automatically going for me. Also, that's a mallet.
So I put it to you again.
Are we getting a bonus correction?
You were attempting to abscond with that coffee cup.
It really is a shame about Mr. Sholmes' cup.
It must have been smashed when Professor ManokAdobo opened the chest.
Oh dear, so many things seem to have been broken here.
And now that the deduction has taken a different direction, Iris doesn't seem to be trying to hide the broken cup anymore.
In other words, the great secret is something else.
Let's put our observational skills to work here on one final time then. Oops. Guess I need the save. Boop-a-doop-a-doop, boop-ba-boop-a-da-boop-a-doop. Boop-ba-ba-doo-doo-doo-bop-dop-bop. Oh, hello? Case file. How many penalties do I have? I think I can still afford a few others.
Take that!
Oops. I meant to look at it first. Yes, it's Mr. Sholmes' coffee cup. That's what Iris was trying to leave with before anyone else noticed it was broken. She doesn't appear to be making any attempt to shield it from view.
Mr. Naruhodo, you haven't righted my reasoning in any way.
Again! One step ahead! One step ahead of the bread line, one step ahead of the sword. I steal only what I can afford. And that's everything. I watched that song in so many different languages just for fun. I like that in the Spanish dub, he basically says, I steal only what I need. And yo necesito todos. I need everything. That, it's similar, but it sounds a little greedier. Like, I steal only what I can't afford, and you know, it just so happens that I can't afford anything. But here it's like, I want to steal everything. I need everything. Very subtle, but very fun. We were very nearly taken in completely by Iris then, weren't we? It's rather charming that you could be deceived by a 10-year-old girl, I think. I don't think it was only me. No, you're right. I think what Iris is hiding. It was also Mr. Sholmes. Must be extremely important somehow. We're so close now. The great deduction is within our grasp, I'm sure. Yeah, that's gotta be one of the manuscripts. She was hiding one. It's Hound of the Baskervilles. Look at that logo. First, I gotta look at the knapsack, though.
Take that!
More direct in Spanish. Just a little snack, guys.
Rip him open, take it back, guys.
I can take a hint, gotta face the facts. You're my only friend, Abu. If Iris was attempting to sneak away with something else, she must be hiding it somewhere. And as far as I can tell, there's really nowhere else she could conceal anything but in that bag. Perhaps you'll allow me to offer an opinion here. As far as I can tell, much like that bag, your deduction doesn't hold water, my dear fellow. No, I mean, if you sprayed it with that hydrophobic spray, maybe it would. I wasn't suggesting she was trying to make off with a bag full of water.
Indeed, that would be madness.
You know what else is madness? 2 Herlock Sholmeses. This could be my thumbnail. People will not understand the context at all. That was fine singing. Am I a fan of Aladdin? You know, I just like to sing every now and then. I sang that song when Twitch Sings was still around. They had a whole bunch of Disney music. Last year for my birthday, I did Twitch Sings for my birthday. I got raided by freaking Tay Zonde, the guy who sang Chocolate Rain. I still can't believe that even happened. Just, you know, want to remind people that that was a thing. But I sang that. I sang Be Prepared. I just like it. I just like to do voices, but also sing. It's a skill that I didn't realize people just couldn't do. Frickin'
Be prepared for the coup of a century. Be prepared for the murkiest scam.
ooh la la la.
Meticulous planning, the nasty spanning, decades of denial.
Hold on, let me just look at these regularly. I keep forgetting that's an option because the game doesn't show A on the little legend there. Mr. Sholmes' favorite cup. Oh, what's left of it? Just the handle. It was obviously hurled into the air along with Professor Mikotoba. If only it had been this cup that had caught on his finger before it hit the floor. Yes, but anyway, whatever Iris is trying to hide, it's clearly not this handle. Oh, it's okay, Iris. We'll find the truth. Surely this time at last the knapsack is going to be the answer. I'm really not sure why you're so intent on showing Iris's bag to be complicit in these events. Because it's a sizable bag, big enough to carry things around, Mr. Naruhodo. That's what bags are for. See, look at this. If I never went on this crusade to find everything wrong, we wouldn't have gotten this recurring joke of sizable bags holding sizable secrets. Capcom writing team, what else are you hiding? So the knapsack might never see the limelight, you mean? I really wouldn't like to say. Oh well. Alright, let's present this little case file right here. Look, there seems to be some more papers here. Is Iris trying to hide them underneath the tray? The insignia, Mr. Naruhodo. It's an official Scotland Yard document. What? But why would Iris have? We must ask her. An official Scotland Yard document.
Take that!
Bada boom! You were attempting to abscond with that case file.
Iris, as you know very well, nothing escapes the attention of a great detective.
Oh no! But also me. We visited Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory earlier today. Oh, it's the Van Zieks file! Oh, hi, Maria Gory. And Dr. Gory informed us. Hello. Don't look at me like that. What you looking at? Stop it. Stop it. You're peering into my soul. That the autopsy report of Clinton Van Zieks has gone missing.
Clint Van Zieks? Yes, I do seem to recall that some years ago I asked to see the report in question. You were with me, weren't you, Iris?
You mean it was you, Iris? So those papers you have there are...
I'm sorry. Forgive me!
Oh. I have the case file. Supposable. Deduction complete.
Elementary. In truth, I would like to have thought I could have predicted the booby-trapped chest. But it caught me completely off guard. I was very nearly the late consulting detective Sherlock Sholmes.
Don't say it like that. You're implying that Mikotoba is dead.
I'm sorry, Hurley.
So you mean this autopsy report really is?
Yes, I took it from the lab.
It suddenly has a board behind it.
Even though I knew it was very important.
Was there something in it that troubled you, Iris?
Not exactly something that troubled me. Something I've been looking for. When I saw this report, when I saw the writing in it, I knew it was Daddy's.
Yeah. Because John Wilson was the actual person who conducted it. The writing. She took her hat off. Well, she's indoors now. Your father's writing? What do you really mean? Iris? It must be something that's hard for her to talk about.
Forgive me for interrupting, my dear fellows.
But, ManokAdobo will be dead. Mr. Sholmes, what is it?
I feel as though this poor unconscious gentleman on the settee has been somewhat forgotten.
Ah! Father! Forgetting your own dad in the heat of deduction? Susato!
Perhaps we should find our guest somewhere more peaceful to rest.
Don't call it a peaceful rest.
Mr. Naruhodo,
Yes! Yes!
would you be so kind as to lend him your bed? We must do our very best to make him comfortable, I feel.
What, do I sleep on the couch? Oh, yes, of course. I'll help you carry him up. Don't bonk his head on the stairs.
So will I.
No, I can manage alone, thank you. You have tea to enjoy.
What are you gonna do with his body? Gonna reenact that passionate embrace?
We wouldn't want Iris's brew to stew.
Okay, bye. Because there's no better way to make the professor comfortable than dragging him upstairs like a trunk. Are you sure you got it, Mr. Sholmes?
Oh, yes, I'm fine. Let me just... I did not drop your father. If you were wondering that, Miss Susato, that was not the sound of his body tumbling down the stairs. I might need some help.
I wonder. Perhaps that was deliberate. Maybe Mr. Sholmes is making himself scarce to give Iris the chance to talk more freely. I'm doing Foley. I hope that wasn't too loud in the microphone. My hands hurt now. I slammed the desk. How do the lawyers in this game do it? Well, we know how Van Zeeks does it. Uses his leg instead.
We must use this opportunity to talk with Iris and find out what's going on.
Just let me save real quick before I do something stupid. Wasn't too loud. Thank you, Lilu. Hope you're doing well, by the way. Have you seen my bed? I know you're set. Oh! Oof! Iris, about this piece of evidence. Not the time. Not in the mood to talk. Understandable. Have a nice day. Hey, Iris, check out this cool gun I found. No? Alright. It's cool, though. Your dad. Would you like to tell us about it, Iris? About your father?
I'm sure I told you before, didn't I? That Daddy used to be Hurley's partner.
Yes, and that notes about all the cases they solved together are kept inside that metal chest.
That's right. Hurley told me, you see. He said that Daddy's somewhere far away now, so we can't meet.
Yeah, far, far away. That's one way of describing it.
Then, when I secretly unlocked the chest and read through the papers inside, I started to build up a picture in my head of what Daddy must be like.
Well, that's only natural. You're just like any other girl of your age. With a father who's far, far away, also possibly dead.
I read that Daddy was a professor of the medical science, so I studied and took my degree too.
You took your degree at the age of what? 12? That's only natural, I suppose. 10. I mean, it usually takes people decades, but, you know, 10 is also a good age to have your PhD, master's, doctorate.
In that respect, you're not quite like any other girl of your age, though. But there was one thing that I could never find out. Daddy's name.
What? Huh?
His name wasn't anywhere on all the notes he'd made about his work with Hurley. But then one day...
That's what happened, is it? When you saw this autopsy report, you finally managed to work it out, is that right? Well, you know, it's the only other Wilson on there.
Yes.
So it was the handwriting in the report that caught her eye. The report.
When I saw the writing on that report, I could hardly believe it. I know that handwriting, I thought to myself.
Because it was the same as the writing you've seen on your father's case notes.
Exactly. I was desperate to compare the two properly. I needed to see them side by side. I asked the doctor in the laboratory, but I was told I couldn't take the report away.
So you did it anyway.
And even worse, I was told that that was the first and last time we'd be allowed to even look at it there.
So you decided to steal it.
When I compared the autopsy report with the case notes I had here, there was no doubt. The handwriting was exactly the same. It was Daddy's.
And the signature of the coroner at the bottom of the autopsy report. Read Dr. John H. Wilson. Watson.
So that's how I finally found out. I learned Daddy's name at last.
I see.
Ever since then, I've called myself Iris Wilson. And that's also when I had the brilliant idea
Wait. What did you call yourself before that?
of writing stories all about Daddy's exciting times with Hurley.
Aww. So that's it. The origin of the stories. Without her, there would be no Arthur Conan Doyle estate. Iris Sholmes, I guess.
I decided there and then that I'd write the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes.
Just Iris? How did she enroll in school? In university? Did she homeschool all the way to a PhD? Dang! Graduated from the University of Sholmes, Higher Learning.
Oh, Iris,
I had no idea the stories had quite such a deep personal significance for you. I can see why the autopsy report was so important to her now. I'm sorry, I just can't. Every time I see Iris standing in this backdrop, I think a knife is just sticking out of her head. And why she was so prepared to break the law to get her hands on it. Breaking the law, breaking the law. Breaking the law, breaking the law. I must apologize, Iris.
I must apologize, Iris. This is really all my fault.
Really?
I made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I'd keep the details about your father a secret.
I know. I've been very naughty.
Too naughty.
I'll take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gory and apologize. I promise.
Yes, we'll go together, I think.
Despite the fact that you're banned?
Don't worry about that. I'll use my disguise. Here, let me dye my hair again.
Then let me look after it for you until we get there. Bee-da-ba-doo. Oh, let me just take a look at that real quick. Coroner John H. Wilson, victim Clint Van Seeks, male, age 33, British, time of death 31st May between 9 p.m. and midnight. Death from a single stab wound to the heart. Other superficial external wounds indicative of a duel. Additional notes, recent scarlet ink stains visible on the little and ring fingers of the right hand. No documented corresponding ink was found. Scarlet stains. Look at that, John H. Wilson. Autopsy findings. Vital evidence recovered from the victim's stomach during autopsy. Credit to Inspector Gregson for petitioning so doggedly for the autopsy procedure. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body. Wait. So that's why Gregson was so hell-bent on it, even though it wasn't usual. No, he must have been told by someone. No, the evidence must have been planted in his stomach. Ew. Gross. What does it mean? Dog kid. Like Toby.
I must go and water my herbs, I think. I'll see you all later.
Oh, Iris. She must be feeling awful. Is now a bad time to mention her father's dead? Yeah, it's a bad time to mention. I know Mr. Sholmes is here for her, but still. Ah! Susato? How? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Sholmes? What? Mr. Sholmes?
Oh dear me. So, you've noticed, I see.
But that would mean... What's going on? What? Is there something about the autopsy report? What on earth's the matter, Mr. Zato? You turned white as a sheet. It's this autopsy report, Mr. Naruhodo. The one from 10 years ago. Wait, I just read it. Was there something weird? British, male, 33. Wilson. Wounds, duel, scarlet ink. Arr. The writing isn't Dr. Wilson's at all. It isn't? Wait, what? What do you mean? What? What? Wait, but I don't get to read the actual document though. Huh? What do you mean? How could you possibly know that? Because I know this writing very well. Who wrote it? This writing is my father's.
What? 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 What?
You telling me that Professor Mikotoba is the real John Watson from Sherlock Holmes? What? What?
What? Professor Mikotoba's? Indeed, it's true.
Wait, so Iris isn't John H. Wilson's daughter?
And now you know, my dear fellows.
Iris is Susano's half-sister? No? Hold on. What's true and what's false? I don't know anymore. No, I don't know anything. What on earth does all of this mean, Mr. Sholmes? Because the idea that's slowly forming in my mind is just too extraordinary to believe. Please, you have to explain. Oh my. Here's my badge. Mr. Sholmes, about this.
Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, is this the first time you show me this particular trinket?
Okay, now talk to me, baby! So, this autopsy report was actually penned by Professor ManokAdobo then? But that makes no sense. It's not possible, surely. ManokAdobo did say he was in Britain for like 6 years after Susanna was born. Oh, yeah. So that was it? That was the time he worked with Sholmes?
Not possible? My dear fellow, pray, take a deep breath and think again.
Yes, you're right. In some ways, it actually makes a great deal of sense. It does? It does? 10 years ago is when Father returned to Japan after his extended study tour in Britain.
And prior to his return, where was Dr. ManokAdobo engaged?
Ah, of course. He was an assistant in Dr. Wilson's laboratory, learning about forensic science.
And as an assistant, he would have had aided with the dissection work, making detailed notes, which would be assembled into the full autopsy report. Once the work was complete, the head coroner would check the contents and put his signature on the document.
But he was the one who wrote it. In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson's in the report would be his signature at the end. I see. So Iris got the wrong end of the stick, you mean? She saw that and assumed the whole report had been written by Dr. John H. Wilson. Is she not Wilson's daughter?
Wilson!
Which is very understandable, of course. Like how I say something and seconds later it appears on the text. It means that I've memorized it. I don't know, maybe the video is desynced somehow. What a complicated situation. Bida-ba-doo. Oh no, that's me. That's the thing I do where I accidentally predict the text. I swear, I don't know the entire script of this game. Details of the autopsy report. What? Your partner. Your baby. Thinking about it, most of what we know about you, Mr. Sholmes, comes from the published stories of your exploits. That's what a lot of people know about him. And also the adaptations. Guys, who's your favorite player of Sholmes? Is it Robert Downey Jr. or Benedict Cumberbatch or somebody else? Yes, The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, written by Iris. And we really have no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction.
Most troubling for you, my dear fellow, I'm sure. Not that I'll ever tell.
So what about this supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not?
Ah, you've come straight to the point, I see.
And please come straight to the answer.
I believe Iris explained it in one of her installments. He was a trusted comrade and the only person I could truly have called a friend.
And did this partner of yours truly make a record of all your cases? Are his notes really stored inside that metal chest?
Absolutely, my dear madam. Absolutely.
So, where's your partner now?
We rarely meet. You see, he lives on the other side of the world.
Wait, that could mean either Wilson or ManokAdobo. But it's ManokAdobo. But if this autopsy report and the records of all your old cases were penned by the same hand, and if the autopsy report was written, though not signed by your famous partner, there would be only one logical conclusion.
Pray, impress me.
Your partner would have to be Yuji Mikotoba. In other words, Misuzato's father. How deep does the rabbit hole go? How much of the adventures of Sherlock Holmes is Capcom willing to rewrite? As much as the Doyle estate will let them.
Pardon my word, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes?
You are coming along wonderfully. Wonderful. Wonderful. You have hit upon the method at last. You finally grasp the art of deduction.
You mean to say?
Allow me to introduce you.
Yo! He's awake! His head is throbbing.
To my great friend and partner, Mikotoba.
What? Professor Mikotoba! Whoa! If you look at Mikotoba's picture in the court record, it sort of resembles Wilson's court record photo from the first case. Well, yeah. Early foreshadowing. They did work together. You know, I never said it out loud, but yeah, like the way that Mikotoba has cleaned himself up and, you know, put on a little English suit, he does look like Watson as he was presented in the first game. So, how about that? How about that? Mikotoba was the real John Watson all this time. Wow, good thing none of those notes ever mentioned that he was Japanese. Sholmes and Mikotoba.
Elementary, my dear Mikotoba.
Yeah, it doesn't really have the same ring to it, does it? Does this mean that you're the real Dr. Wilson?
No, my dear. I'm still my old self. Eugene Mikotoba, your father.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, John Wilson's dead.
Iris just in the corner, sobbing with a little cup of tea. Oh, you heard that, did you? This is obviously too much for Susato-san to take in.
I must say, though, now my old friend has attained worldwide celebrity as my great mystery solver. As a great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all. I still remember the first time we met. Remind me, when was it again, Mikotoba?
16 years ago, Sholmes.
Ah, yes, quite 16 years ago.
When Susie was born.
I just arrived from Japan with Seishiro and Genshin. I was in search of lodgings close to the hospital. Some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. But rents are devilishly high in that particular area. That's right. So I decided I needed someone to share lodgings and the expense. And was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation.
Sholmes? Out of money? No.
I was a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before you now. I was working at the hospital's chemical laboratory at the time, indulging my curiosities for little gain. And the situation of our cohabitation led us to pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe, it was a mere 6 years. We had a great many adventures. But in the last year of Mikotoba's stay in Britain, that most infamous of cases presented itself. The case with which you've become rather familiar yourselves. The Professor killings.
Do we, like, give it a case name at this point? It's been so ingrained in the story. Do we call it, like, the PK7? The PK7 case.
After the trial, Seishiro and I were summoned back home.
Hardly surprising given the circumstances. Sorry, I had to clear my throat.
So, there you have it. And as you know, all the details recorded by my trusty chronicler remain in that metal chest.
This is just amazing! Professor Mikotoba really is Mr. Sholmes' famous partner!
What?
Poor John Wilson. all this stuff happening, and he was dead. Well, it all played out. And you got this little girl thinking that she's his daughter.
Father.
Goodness, my dear. What a cutting look.
The shoe is his? The chocolate shoe? I don't think so.
As your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you were the great detective's great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now.
And that is?
How you kept it a secret all these years?
You know very well what it is. The unresolved matter of Iris's father.
Ow. Yeah, because she just assumed, because the whole record was penned. But no. Oh, maybe Iris is not even a Wilson? Ah, of course, I'd almost forgotten about that one.
I should have seen this coming, I suppose.
Beat-a-ba-doo.
Iris told us that all the notes about the great detective's adventures are in that metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Sholmes?
Oh, are we just like...
That is indeed what I told young Iris, but
Is it true, though? Did Mikotoba do a Joseph Joestar? Don't you tell me Mikotoba pulled a Joseph Joestar. Did he have another family out here in Britain?
did he? No. No, he didn't cheat on Susato's mom.
No, that's a lie, right, Sholmes? Right?
But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, father, and you wrote all those case notes, then Iris's father must be you.
On my word, Mr. Sato. You are coming along wonderfully as well. You too have hit upon the method at last. What?
What? They're sisters?
You finally grasped the art of deduction.
They're sisters? Mikotoba cheated? Wait. Hold on, I don't like this. No.
What?
What you've always told me, father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago, and you left me in grandmother's care whilst you embarked on your study of tour of Britain.
Oh, but maybe... No, wait. Maybe her mom came with him?
And I've always accepted that. But all this about Iris.
Ooh, there it is. Susato-san's ice-cold stare.
Now, hold on a minute. It was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think.
Is it? Sir? Sir? Did you cheat on Susato's mom?
Then perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is?
There it is. Now the eyes go from ice cold to red hot. Just before she...
No, really, you've got the wrong end of the stick. Sholmes, say something, man.
Looking a little sus?
That's quite enough, my fiery fellows.
Oh, he's got the outfit. Mr. Sholmes, when did he get all dressed up? Ryunosuke watching with popcorn? Or maybe just watching, waiting to, like, break up the fight.
Whilst I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past, Mikotobo and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion.
What? Yo, you can't get away from it that easily. Get you back here? Get you back here, you cheating scamp? But it's fair. I really hope that's not the case. I want to say that maybe Mikotoba took his wife to Britain with him. And then, like, came up with her dying as an explanation to Susato? Maybe? And Iris is just Susato's full sister. Maybe?
But it's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go?
To the pub. We've got a lot of drinking to do after this revelation. Why, my dear madam, is it not obvious? My partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. So get your coat, Mikotoba. The game is afoot. But Sholmes, I really must give Susato a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our carriage awaits downstairs already.
You are downstairs.
You haven't changed one iota, have you? I mean, really. I visit our home about after 10 long years, and when I open that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicably pass out. And as if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regain consciousness, I'm plunged straight into all this.
Father, please. Go with Mr. Sholmes now.
What?
I've no doubt that whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interests. Even if it means cheating on his wife, I really hope that's not it. I trust you. Completely. Maybe Iris is adopted. There you go.
Susato.
And sending the great detective and his great partner off on renewed adventures together is more than I could have hoped for in my wildest dreams. Oh, Susie, there's your smile. There's your grace. There's your happy face.
Very well then. We'll speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day.
Done for the day? What did we find out about Gregson? Wait, what do I say in the trial?
I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. Yes, Naruhodo. Good luck in battle. And in reaching a decision.
A decision? But what did it go back to Japan, I suppose? Oh yeah. Forgot about that one.
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself. It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth.
Oh?
And that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
Resolve! He said the thing! Naruhodo! Naruhodo! Let's go! And what do you mean end? Wait, what do you mean end? Is the trial gonna be in case 5? Legendary pair. Finally, I got an accolade for completing a case. Freaking story mode on deprived me of like at least 2 achievements. I'm still very salty about that. Alright, okay. Well, I guess this is the end of chapter 4. I thought I'd, find out more about Gregson's death. But we're ending on a cliffhanger. Oh, this next... I don't even know if I want to call it a case. Episode? It's the same case. It's just different chapter. Well, whatever happens, it must be a doozy. At the resolution of this whole thing. Yeah, it'll blow everything wide open. The true identity of the Reaper, what happened 10 years ago. Yeah. Am I mentally prepared for this? I don't know. What I do know is... Stream's over. You all can go home. Don't worry. I will play Great Ace Attorney again at least once per week. But it makes me wonder. Ooh, it makes me wonder how much longer of the game we have left. I've been playing this for quite a while. I want to compare my playlist of the first game to this. See how much faster or slower I'm playing. We'll see. It's spicy. You spent most of your channel points. Oops. It's okay. You'll build up more by watching. But that'll be next time. For now... Oh, it's all weird because I put the filter on. Hold on. Maybe I shouldn't have the filter on in this room. Beep, beep. There you go. Perfectly lit. Or maybe I'll apply the filter to the body part. Look at this lighting. I'm in the window light. Perfect. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I know it's been a long while since my last stream, but thanks for coming on back, sticking with me. It means a lot. And I hope you all are enjoying the show. Man, it makes me want to go back to every single other great deduction in the entire game. No, even to the first game. Get all the wrong answers and just watch the chaos. It's beautiful. This was great. Thank you, AOL. Thanks for streaming. You're welcome, Croissant. Yeah, before we go, I gotta show you some stream art. As always, if you have any art for the stream inspired by the games I play or the chicken nature of the stream, tweet it at me or post it in the Discord and I'll put it up. If it's alright, Hectacular Hector, I'm just gonna put up one of these. I'm gonna put up some pixel art of Gory from Kirby. I don't know which Kirby game he's from, but this is beautiful. Look at that. It looks just like a sprite from a game. I hope he makes an appearance in Kirby Forgotten Land. If anything. That game looks so good, and I can't wait for it to come out. It may be the first... It's not even the first Kirby game I stream, but maybe it'll be the first Kirby game I stream for the longest time. A longest time. Oh, for the longest time. I remember, I bought a streaming 3DS just to play Kirby Robobot. That was that long ago, huh? I thank that for happening, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have streamed the Great Ace Attorney 1. I streamed on that very 3DS that I streamed Kirby Robobot from, because I had it, because I was able to hack it, and put a translation patch on there. Okay, maybe I would have streamed it with like the Android version, which probably would have worked out better because it would have been HD. But I still love that I was able to play my actual copy of Daigakuten Saibon that I imported from Japan, just to have it. No, then I actually played it. That's I thank the Scarlet Study team. But yes, good art, Hector. Sorry, that went on a tangent. But oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, oh my dang. Any other art? Not today, but maybe in the future. We'll just pop this in the room. Maybe just like right on top of Naoto's head. There you go. And yeah, I'll catch y'all around another time. In the meantime, though, if you haven't already, if you're new to the stream, follow me on Twitch to catch me live next time I play this or any other game. Or just subscribe to the YouTube channel to catch past VODs when I put them up. I put like fancy little thumbnails and everything on there. And if you want to know when I'm streaming next, go follow the Twitter and the Discord for updates. I always post my schedules on both of those when I remember. And yeah. Expect spooky games for the coming week. On Monday, we'll be playing Deltarune Chapter 2 again, but the weird route. And you know, I think it's spooky enough, that route, that it was a good idea to save it for October, and totally not just because I happened to be on vacation. So everybody, see ya then. No stream tomorrow. Ta-da! You know, anything could happen. Thanks for being here. Have a good night, everybody, if you're going to sleep. And, stay clucky, y'all. Till next time. Bak bak!